Good evening, and welcome everyone to our very special Chapter 1 of a very special 4-part miniseries, Blue Moon. My name is Philip, and I will be running this game, and surrounding me are a bunch of wonderful players. Say, hello, players. Hello. Players. It's so wonderful to have you all here for this werewolf game that is just happening because a couple of people in a previous game afterwards were talking about how much they liked werewolves. I was like, well, sounds like a thing to do. I'm going to jump into it here and first remove the next entry from the adventure calendar. This is day 8. I know that this has nothing to do with the dates. We're doing this all high, low. There it is. It's a torch. So far, there's a dwarf, and he went to a goblin. The new developments are this young dwarf. He's gone into this goblin cave, and some goblins asked him if he'd share his light with them. Light that he kept from a dragon who used to defend the dwarves. And the goblin said, well, we don't have light. Will you share it with us? Ooh. And for the first time, oh, guys, this is from a tea light that has not been released yet. This is the Magica Potion coming 2023. So this is a sneak peek of a new, I assume this is going to be like their healing potion that is sort of red.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the notes are because I cannot sense that stuff just from smelling, but I'm going to light this up and just enjoy this. So thanks again, Pierce, for all of this fun. And thanks to Cantrip Candles.
Yeah, once again, Cantrip Candles, who gave me the privilege to purchase this from them at full price.
They're
just to give a gift to Philip, because I know he likes that.
They're cool people. They're cool people over there. So, that's item number 1 out of the way. We are going to introduce our players. That's a thing I probably should do more frequently, but especially when we're starting a new game. I would love to introduce our players. I'd like you to tell us sort of who your character is, what they sort of do as their vocation, profession, higher calling, means of passing the time. And I would also like for you to tell me your favorite werewolf character, movie, novel, whatever it is. I will say that though it is hard for me not to pick An American Werewolf in London, which is just like an amazing movie. I'm gonna go a little more obscure and weird, and I will instead pick the, I believe, 1934 film Werewolf of London, which is predating the Wolfman, in fact, and is a very weird movie that has interesting vibe. I like some things about it, and some things about it are stupid, but boy, do I love those old kind of Universal horror things. So, that's mine. I'm Philip. Let's start off with, and I don't want to offend anyone by saying this, but let's go ahead and start with Millie. I was going to say the person who's most enthusiastic about werewolves, but Pierce technically might have you beat, but we will start with Millie nonetheless. Millie, tell us about your character and your werewolf fandom.
Okay, hello, I'm Millie. My character is named Freya, and I am the younger sister of Narcissa, and I am a huntress in the woods surrounding our village, and just trying to keep food on the table, and also food on the table and furs to be sold. We'll see what goes on from there. Do I describe, like, if there's, like, looks or whatever, like a physical description?
You know what? Sure. If you'd like to.
Is that a thing?
That's a thing I can jot down. Why not? That's useful for me to know, yeah.
Cool. A regular young human girl. It's just her and her sister living by themselves. And she has dark blonde hair and wears a lot of, like, layers because she's out in the woods all the time, and has a musket and a knife on her thigh. So that's Freya. And my favorite werewolf, I have to go with my heart and soul on this. It is I want to say that I'm not I do not support the creator of this character anymore, but I have to pick them because they're my favorite werewolf of all time, and it's Remus Lupin from the Harry Potter series. They're my favorite character ever written. Fun fact. But do not like the creator anymore, but I love that character. So have to go with my gut.
I'll Google who that is. I don't know. I'm not familiar. Pierce.
Hello.
Pierce, tell us
Sure.
who you are, who you'll play, and what werewolf you love.
Well, my name is Pierce. You've probably seen me on this channel before. My character is Karn. He is a city watch, kind of like an inspector. The closest thing I think that would be like to a detective that this village might have.
And I mean, let's
but he's
be
much
clear,
more-
you're a village watch.
Yeah.
No one
So,
would
like-
no one even remotely call Blue Moon a city.
No.
Yeah.
Sorry. Apologies. Village watch. And a bit of a fisherman in his leisure time. As far as his appearance, I would say he has sort of shortish, sort of cropped brown hair. Keeps a full beard. It's definitely reddish, kind of betraying maybe some mixed lineage along the line there. Perhaps a mixture of some of the Highland blood sneaking in somewhere down the line. As far as so I'm going to pick something that might be controversial, and you can deem it not technically a werewolf thing, but it is a movie I've watched many, many times and come back to frequently and think about a lot, actually, and that's Brotherhood of the Wolf, which is debatably not a werewolf movie, more of like a large wolf movie.
Close enough.
But that is one that I've come back to more often than, is American Werewolf in London a better movie? Yes, 100%. Do I revisit it as often as I revisit Brotherhood of the Wolf? No.
We said favorite. We didn't say better. We just said favorite.
Exactly. That's how I felt too. I was like, I gotta go with my gut.
Very good. Well, it's fun to have. It's fun to have you in this game.
I like that you've already introduced the two people that you're like, these are the two biggest werewolves, and we've both already put so much qualifications around our
Yeah. That'll be my favorite werewolf. Well, okay, it's not technically a werewolf, or it's from a problematic property. Anywho, let's see how the posers act about it. These non-werewolf ride or die people. Let's see their feelings about this. Let's watch them ruin this genre. But being like, my favorite werewolf, I don't know, Cujo.
That's not a werewolf.
Okay, good. So, okay, good. You passed the test. So Felicia, if you would introduce yourself and your character, and.
Oh gosh, here we go. My character is named Narcissa. I'm older sister to Freya. My occupation is a tanner. So I work with animal hides that Freya collects, and we live in a little quaint cottage. I'm not the nicest sister, I'll admit, but you'll find out later. And then when it comes to werewolf movies, as cliche as it is, I mean, I would say I'm a universal horror classic, 1941, The Wolfman. Yeah. But if you want to go cheesy werewolves, which I explained to Philip, I was like, Jacob from Twilight? If we're gonna go by really bad werewolves. But you know what? I'll stick to it.
Excellent. Well, and we're very happy to have you on the channel as well. Welcome. We're very excited to have you.
Yes,
in this
welcome.
Game.
Oh yeah, first time on the channel.
It's gonna be a lot of fun. Andrew, tell us about your character and about your werewolfery.
Well, sure. Hi everyone. I'm Andrew. I'm playing Siobhan Corlane, the village librarian. I do my best to keep things tidy and try to get some inventory for the town, but it's difficult. I have jet black hair and incredible eyebrows. And in terms of werewolves, I'm gonna go with the clearly only choice, the 1985 classic Teen Wolf starring Michael
Okay.
J. Fox. I
Someone
mean,
had to say it. Someone had
yeah.
to say it.
I was wondering if that would come up. There's a couple others that I was wondering if they'll come up. We'll see.
It was almost my answer. I was like, no.
oh, I didn't even see that Pierce even called
both
the
your
shot.
picks so far.
Ridiculous.
You have. You literally called. Well, okay, you didn't actually call Felicia's pick. You
That's
called
true,
a
that's true.
reference that would have been made.
That's fair.
Well, Andrew, welcome back to Sundays.
Thank you.
Sunday Fun
Thank
Day.
you. It's good to be here.
And last but never least, Lauren, a mainstay of our channel as well, a consummate performer.
Thank you.
So excited to hear about your character and about Elodie Braun.
Yes.
Braun.
I
Wow,
did
okay.
give her a last name. She is from the mountains. I don't know how she ended up wherever we are. But she is from the mountains. She has studied folk magic for as long as she can remember. Her matriarchal family just, taught her everything that she knows. She's an herbalist, so very good with the plants around her. She loves using the earth and very intuitive with plants and such around her. And she's, a pretty woman in her mid-30s, early 40s. You could tell she... Philip's gonna laugh about this. You could tell she was quite a looker when she was a very young lady, but she spends a lot of time out in the forest foraging, so she's a little weathered, but she makes do. She is not, however, married because she doesn't need a man.
That's right.
Wonderful. Now I notice. I know, and I've seen, because Karn is actually your character's last name. Pierce. Do Freya and Narcissa, is there a last name? I don't want to spring this on you. You can inform us of that later.
It's like Mario.
Yeah, Freya
Yeah.
and Narcissa.
It's
Freya,
Or Freya,
Narcissa,
Narcissa.
Freya.
it can come up later.
Come up later. Okay, then this question will be a little harder, but there is something based on kind of conversations I had with Felicia primarily, and then a little with Millie as well. I actually am going to need Lauren, Pierce, and Andrew to basically let me know, just kind of really just based on what you've heard so far, are you Team Freya or Team Narcissa? Because most people in the town like one of these sisters.
Narcissa, absolutely.
Okay.
1000%.
I imagine
Being
my
a vegetarian myself, I'm gonna have to go with Narcissa only because I appreciate the fact that she uses every bit of the animal. The hunting aspect that Freya does just doesn't settle well with me, and I'm sorry,
Very-
dear. I
very
do adore both, but I feel that I would get along a lot better with Narcissa.
You probably,
And I
you
have a
probably
feeling
do.
we probably work together.
I think that makes.
Probably gave her some herbs.
I'm sure you've
to
traded your
top that
wares at
high.
various times. Makes total sense. Karn, are you going to make it a clean sweep? Is Freya
No.
officially the village outcast?
No, because I've traveled in the woods with Freya on occasion.
Okay.
Freya's helped me sort of find the killing spots for things in the past. I don't know that I've exchanged more than a handful of words with Narcissa. I don't really have an opinion of her. But Freya I find very affable
Well,
for my taste.
And as Karn would know, when I make a kill, I do have a small ritual that I complete to thank the animal and thank the earth for giving it to me.
I do respect
only
you.
a-
I
Oh
do
my
respect
gosh.
But
it.
only
I just
the people who have
haven't.
hunted with me know this about me.
oh my gosh, that's so fun because like Elodie and Siobhan do the funniest impression of your little ritual, like in the tavern. Like it's
No,
so
I
funny.
would never. No.
I don't tear down women. I don't tear down women like that. No.
Going back hundreds of years, I'm not about to make fun of somebody for theirs.
No, that's true. They don't do it. They definitely laugh at it though. Well, it sounds like we have a really
Wait, I
interesting.
didn't say my favorite werewolf
Oh
stuff.
my gosh, I'm genuinely so sorry.
And it actually is relevant to you. I'm not a huge fan of werewolves. I mean, I like them, but I don't
Out.
go out of my way.
Leave meeting.
Get
However, The Wolfman with Anthony Hopkins and Benicio del Toro. I always have a hard time saying his name. Changed my perspective on werewolves because I got to see like the agony and the pain behind somebody who was a werewolf.
Mhm.
And so I really appreciated that film and what it did for my perspective of werewolves. However, recently, also Philip told me we saw that one together.
We saw that together with Artie and my parents, and that was we were in that was like a huge storm in Dallas, and like the power was out in a lot of places. We were like, it was like one of the coldest I've ever been in a movie theater, was seeing that.
Yeah.
And I remember Artie was like bundled up with like a hat on. But go ahead.
That's right.
What's another one? You have another one though, it seems like.
Yes. Werewolf by Night.
Werewolf by Night.
That is now my favorite werewolf property.
Really solid.
I loved it so much. I'm like that. I loved.
Werewolf by Night was a lot of fun. Also, if people like, I love the Tomb of Dracula and Werewolf by Night comics from like the old Marvel. It's like they're so just like decadent and like kind of stupid, and I just love them so much. There's so many times where the Tomb of Dracula, and Werewolf by Night does stuff like this too, where it'll just be like, it'll just be like so and so is living his life doing this. He wants to get a mortgage. It's just like a picture of like a guy like running and scared, and then you turn the page, it says, "Too bad he has to die," and Dracula's ripping his throat out because comic books. Werewolf by Night is like that, but Jack Russell is kind of not a bad guy.
It's so good.
That's a fun show, though. Yeah, that's a fun
What is it on
shot.
Netflix?
It's Disney Plus.
Disney Plus. Everybody watch it. It's so good.
And it's only 50 minutes, which in many ways is the best thing about it.
The Wolfman
Okay.
remake is a shockingly weird and interesting version of that film.
Yeah. It has
enjoyed
some really cool sequences in it for sure.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It was
Oh man.
far more interesting than I was expecting.
Wow. Speaking of things that are far more interesting than you're expecting, let's get into this game. We have our characters, so there's really just one more thing for me to do, which is, if anybody notices what just changed on my screen, we will now read tonight's invocation. Blue moon, you saw me standing alone, without a dream in my heart, without a love of my own. Blue moon, you knew just what I was there for. You heard me saying a prayer for someone I really could care for. The village of Blue Moon is a small settlement nestled in the thick forests of the part of the world. A part of the world that is difficult to get to, and that the people who live there tend not to leave. In the far distance, thick purple mists can be seen, cresting over the other mountains at the far side of the large lake. No one really enters this mist, and those who do tend not to be seen again. Aside from the lake and the thick forests of sort of large fir trees and other evergreens, is this village. There is basically just one main road, and in typical Star Wars style, yes, the road is made of mud. The population of this village is tricky to pin down, as you might want to count some of the people who keep sort of small farms or even kind of, sheep land or things like that in the region. But there's not really more than probably 200 people within a few miles of this settlement of Blue Moon. There's a trading post. Occasionally people do come and go, but these strangers, though respected, don't make much of an impression, and it's not really certain where it is they're coming from or where they're going. of the people who live in Blue Moon who we've met for this game. We have Freya and Narcissa. We have Elodie, we have Siobhan, and we have Karn. Elodie, Narcissa, and Siobhan are often found in town, as is Karn. Freya is more frequently found in the woods. But to begin this game, we're going to have Freya make our very first roll, and that is simply a luck roll to see if Freya happens to be in town when this game begins. And if you fail this roll, you miss your chance to become a werewolf. Just so you know.
You're so mean.
It's true. I
Yeah,
really am.
He's cruel.
I don't have.
He's just cruel.
That's so cruel.
I don't have good
All right,
qualities. That is
but-
not true. This is actually just a total simple roll. So you are going to use your luck. You have a 2 for luck. So you're going to roll 2 d8s, and you get to pick the skill for luck that could apply. In your case, these are all things you might be doing. So just pick any of your skills, and we'll say that is what you kind of have been engaged in at this time, and we'll basically see if this is something that you have accomplished in such a way that it leads you back to town in time to be here with the others.
I'll say I finished setting up my traps for the day. Like
Perfect.
I did my tracking and I just set up my traps. They're at my usual spots and I'm making my way back to town, hopefully.
Wonderful. So go ahead. Let's roll for traps. This is two d8s and 2 for your trapping, 4 d8 total. And I guess I will also explain how this system works for our viewers. This is based largely on the one roll engine system. So this is you're rolling large pools of dice, but the numbers or sums don't matter so much as getting matches across the dice. It's almost like dice meets cards, or kind of like Yahtzee. The idea here is you're kind of wanting any match is called a set, and then the more dice in that match increases the sort of degree of the set. So what have you rolled, Freya?
I rolled one match
Okay.
of 2 7s,
2 7s, and as it happens,
which is my lucky number.
well, there you
That's
go.
good.
Also, the 7 represents the 7th phase of the moon. Anybody know it off the top of their head? It is on the sheet, so you can just look and cheat.
It's the third quarter.
That is the 3rd quarter moon. So that does, especially because it represents like preparation, understanding, we will definitely say, and justice, because I was being so mean to you earlier, we will say that Freya, after a long day of sort of setting up your traps, or a long morning, because it's night hasn't even fallen, you have decided to kind of venture back to town earlier. You assume your sister has probably already finished her work. As you don't have like an animal that you're bringing, you don't have like a deer or even a beaver, kind of there's a lot of things you can bring in for fur and such things. So you assume she won't be working, so you're kind of going to go to town for whatever purpose. There is a tavern in town, the creatively named Blue Moon Tavern. Don't really put
Do
too
they
much.
serve Blue Moon?
No, because they can't source oranges here. It's just too
Blue Moon Mead.
Blue Moon meat. No, there'd be ale at this point, I think. But they don't. They can't get the oranges for the garnish. So, Freya.
So because I didn't kill anything today, I don't smell as bad as I probably usually do. But I still am dirty and like dirt underneath my fingernails, like mud like on me and stuff like that from getting my trap set up. But I don't smell like animal, which I usually am probably kind of smelling. So that might also be a reason why some people don't like me.
Sure. So, as you enter sort of town, for the rest of you, this is kind of a typical sort of afternoon. What might you be doing this afternoon? Karn, where would you like to be?
What time of day is it?
I'm gonna say it's like 4 p.m. So the dark is coming, but it is not here yet.
I'd probably be making my sort of final round, sort of patrolling around the perimeter of the town before heading into the Blue Moon Tavern.
Perfect. Narcissa.
I'm cleaning off my knives at our little outdoor
Like
little
at your little
stand that we
stall.
have.
Perfect. Okay.
Yeah,
great.
at our little stall.
Perfect. And Narcissa, why don't you make for me? You're just patrolling, so that is no problem. But Narcissa, let's see how things went for you today. Add your luck to, I would let you do either tannery or charm. Those are both 3 for you. So basically, do you have 5d8? Did you scrounge together 5?
Yes, I scrounged 5.
Perfect. Let's roll. Let's
did
roll
it.
those. Roll those 5. Let's see if you get any matches.
Let's see. I have 1 match.
All right. What number?
And 8.
8. Ooh, the acceptance, maturity, and serenity. So, we'll phrase it like this: you made some sales today. You decided not to push too hard, basically. Kind of, you accepted, kind of like, it's okay. This guy needs his fur hat. It's fine. So, kind of, we're not really keeping track of like coinage in this thing, but suffice it to say, you do have under your inventory on the far left, if you scroll down, it says your money purse is moderately full. Let's make that moderately full plus.
Okay.
Don't know what that means, but let's just say you're moderately full
Yeah.
plus.
Just a little extra money.
Perfect. So you're kind of there at your stand. Siobhan, where might you be on an afternoon such as this?
I'm in my study, looking out into the forest, trying to get some writing done. Gonna work on some essays, but I have, as so often is the case, writer's block.
All right. That is not a great situation to be in. I speak from experience. Elodie,
Yeah.
where might you be on a night such as this, or an afternoon
I'm just
such as this?
Later on I am preparing to go to the Blue Moon Tavern. So I am just bottling up some tinctures and potions that I've created. But I am making sure to put together my little, what I call scent satchels. They are good luck. They are blessed with good intentions. I hand them out quite often at the Blue Moon Tavern because people come in from outside. And Lord knows they smell like outside. So, I give them little satchels that I tell them it's for good luck and prosperity, but really they're just really nice smelling, and they it's good for some people that go to the tavern sometimes.
Perfect. So,
Just packing them up, just getting them ready just in case.
I love it. So,
Freya has had a whole stack of them
You know what?
in
the
her
smell
bag,
of
and when
potato.
when it becomes too much, she just throws them out.
Yeah.
Back. She knows they're all herbs. She just throws them all out back into the woods.
yeah. Yeah, Freya can't be carrying those around if she's hunting. The animals will smell her.
No.
So, as Freya sort of makes her way in from the side of town, we'll say that Karn is sort of patrolling there. You see Freya sort of heading in.
Hello there. Looks like the hunting wasn't too fruitful today.
You could say that. Set some new traps, though.
Well, then hopefully tomorrow will be a bit better for you.
It better be. Narcissa's gonna be up my ass. Not looking forward to that.
Spot anything out of ordinary while you were out there?
No. There just wasn't. It was real quiet today. Real
Well, that's
quiet.
good. I prefer quiet days in Blue Moon.
I prefer quiet, but with an animal or two.
Fair.
Karn and Freya, as you're talking here, both of you are sort of people who, pride yourself on your sort of awareness to a certain extent. And Karn, especially with your sort of, I think for listen you would get 5 moon dice, and for look you get 6. You're very, and that's largely based on like vitality, which is often sort of for awareness. as you're sort of both there, kind of here, I think that Karn, you hear a commotion from outside of town. Freya, you Obi-Wan style sense it too, and Karn, as you sort of, it is coming from down by the lake. There's some thrashing and some raised voices. And not long thereafter, you actually sort of you can see a couple of figures moving like through the trees. Just something is a lot of sort of motion, kind of almost as if they're fighting, or maybe they're trying to do something. You're not sure, but there's a good bit of kind of commotion coming from that area.
I'm gonna have to go investigate this, and I'll pull out my cudgel and begin making my way towards them.
Okay.
And when I get like relatively just within like relative distance, I'll blow my whistle and call it, you there? What's this commotion about?
Freya, are you staying where you are? Are you carrying on? Are you following him?
I am staying put, but I'm watching the situation go down, and I have one hand on my musket
Understood.
as I watch.
Karn, in response to you saying, what is this commotion about? A voice that you recognize belonging to Lars, one of the town's main fishers, just basically says, God, lay off it, Karn. Oh my God. Just look at this thing. And Karn, as you get close, you see that Lars and Brigga, these are kind of two fishers who spend most of their time sort of either kind of like, in canoes or wading and trying to fish any way they can. They are carrying a massive fish. They have a massive fish that is wriggling like crazy between them, and they are trying to bodily carry this into town.
That's quite a haul, and I'll put my cudgel down and I'll go in to try to assist them.
Okay. It is a sturgeon, but it is wriggling aggressively.
Can I take my knife out and sort of just try to just hit it in the brain?
You absolutely can. You almost hear half a word as they're sort of moving about it, but basically, would you do? That's going to be coordination because you're trying to be careful with your aim. So I'll let you use. You're not really a knife person. Go ahead and do coordination on that one.
Okay.
For me.
Any skills that pop into this?
You can throw your brawling on. That's okay.
Okay.
We'll say in this case, it's not a. It's typically, brawling is going to be more of like a thunk, 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 not a. But give it a shot.
All right. That is.
Actually, give yourself one extra die because you have knowledge of fish anatomy. I'll say that can apply right now.
Okay. Hey, that actually creates 2 sets.
Okay.
And I pick which one.
You pick
right?
which
that
one, yes.
Oh, this is interesting. Let's go with, I have a 5 and a 6. We'll use 5.
5, the full moon. Okay, so basically, with great passion, with kind of just like intent, you sort of see an opportunity and you don't really get to make many kills. Maybe it's because you were just talking to Freya and you know that she kind of is like a hunter, and so there's a part of you that's like, people don't think I'm a real. Also, this fucker Lars was just mouthing off to you, and he always is. So you're kind of like, man, screw it. So you just, with great passion, you pull out your knife and drive it straight and true to where this sturgeon's brain would be located. Because you're using coordination, you're kind of going more delicately than just like a hard thing. And you do so, and to your surprise, your knife just slides right off the scales.
That's very peculiar.
And basically at this point, Brigga is like, this thing's been out of the water for 30 minutes. It's not dying. What the hell is this?
Do I? Given our setting, given answering things, is there anything that might be like... I know that Karn isn't a particularly religious figure, but he does have knowledge of it. Is there anything about fish spirits or something like that?
I'll tell you what. I'll let you do an intellect. I'll let you do an intellect plus. You can throw a religion die onto it to see if your understanding of spirits is helpful here.
Not a match.
You are drawing a blank. But at this point, if you're helping them sort of wrangle it, your hands would certainly be helpful to just kind of, like maintain this creature, because it's a pretty large sturgeon they've got. It's probably like a 3 or 4 footer. And they're just trying to carry it into town basically at this point.
I'll grab my hand. I'll help wrangle it, and I might even call out at this point. Freya, if you're still there, we could use a hand. We've got quite a fish here.
I do the thing where I see finally what's going on, and I just kind of like go, Narcissa's gonna find out Lars and Frigga caught a fish, but I didn't get anything today. I'm gonna like let out one of those like deep sighs and go, and just gonna close my eyes. But then I do go forward and I like re-shoulder my musket like not just on my like one shoulder, but like put it around. So I'm like,
sure.
I have empty hands, and I go up and I was like, Karn, did you miss? I saw you try to hit it.
No, I hit it straight true in the head. But my blade bounced off of its scales. I'll have to see about sharpening it, perhaps. But it also appears to have been out of the water for quite some time. But we're just gonna try to get it into town. Perhaps then we can finally end the beast.
We can try. Narcissa doesn't like fish, but she can gut any sort of animal.
Brigga's like, we'll gut it ourselves. We don't want your help. We caught it. We caught this thing. It's just, but Karn, this might be the big one, right? You know the one?
I just turn around and walk away then.
Okay, understood.
Just like, fine, you don't want my help? You don't want me and my sister's help? Fine, goodbye.
Very likely, this may be indeed the big one, Brigga. And yes, of course, I'm just trying.
Yeah.
We're just gonna need some help.
So you guys carried in. At this point, some of just like the various people in town are seeing this, and Lars is just shouting, like, everyone come look at this sturgeon! Hey, come here! Look! He's kind of just, so I will say that at this point, Narcissa, you're outside. You probably see Freya kind of walking into town now. But Elodie and Siobhan, especially Siobhan, given that when you're trying to work, your hearing for distractions is increased 1,000-fold. You hear shouting from outside. Elodie, you hear it as well. And several villagers are just kind of now moving around and kind of gathering around this. And Lars at this point has let go, and he's just gesturing. He's like, it's been out for 30 minutes. I maybe an hour at this point, right? It's been out for 2 hours. So Elodie, Siobhan, and Narcissa, if you'd like to come over, you're welcome to.
I would. And would I have heard about the fish being out for almost 2 hours and not dying?
I will say that as you sort of get over, you rather quickly that story is being sort of mentioned, or people are like, it's whatever. It's just of course a big fish. They take forever to run out of water. They're just people are muttering and saying stuff. But Elodie, you are hearing this at this point, sure.
Is there anything? I know he asked about water fish spirits, but is there anything in Blue Moon folklore that would talk about the big one or a specific fish?
Yes, because you have... So, and here's this thing, in the way knowledge works is if you have a knowledge, there are certain bits of information you'll just kind of automatically get, and then you also get to sometimes add bonuses to rolls if it would, like, really apply. In this case, Elodie, what you just simply know of Blue Moon folklore is... you've definitely heard people talk about, like, there is some big fish who people have tried to catch on several occasions. and haven't been able to. But then people will catch a big fish and be like, "That's the big one." Then somebody else will see a big fish and be like, "That wasn't the big one." So that's kind of just it's a fertile
So there's
fertile
nothing
lake.
like magical or elusive about this lake or the fish in it.
The big fish you hear about is not a big deal. You do, however, know that there are many stories of people going swimming and like never surfacing in the lake. The lake is definitely a point of a lot of sort of legends. Some people have said there's a sea monster, things like this, but for the most part, this specific thing does not ring any bell to you.
Okay. I will shout to them, well, if it ain't dying, you might want to put it back.
No, it's the big one. I caught it. Brigga says, we caught it.
Do you know how many people have caught the big one?
Hey,
Yet somebody else always finds another big one.
this one's different.
I can see
Look,
that.
and at this point, Karn kind of Brigga is actually here. I'll do a quick roll for Brigga. Sure. Brigga gets a match nonetheless, so she's able to hold it. Could you just make a physicality roll for me?
Physicality.
Just physicality, just holding on. You can add brawl to it actually, because this is kind of grappling-y that you're doing to this fish. That's fine.
One match.
One match. With one match, you're able to like you guys are struggling. This thing is really wriggling, but you do manage to kind of get it into, get it into sort of the middle of the town square at this point. And at this point, various people are just kind of coming around. Like,
To be fair, Elodie, I've never seen anyone catch one quite this big or determined.
Can I touch the fish and use...
you absolutely may touch the fish if you would like. Do you have touch as a? You don't have touch as a thing. Make it. But if you touch the fish, you can check it out. The fish, the scales of the fish are sort of very dry. At this point,
Okay.
It is
Am I
wriggling.
getting a vibe from it? Like a magical... Like perhaps a folk magic vibe?
A folk magic vibe. I would say in this that's a knowledge you have, and your knowledge of folk magic tells you nothing of air breathing fish. That is not something you're sort of familiar with. The fish is sort of struggling, seems very upset, but you're unfamiliar with that out of folk magic or folklore fashion.
Wait, but I can tell that it's breathing air even though it's struggling. Is
Cool,
that...
great, excellent question. I will let you roll a folk medicine, and you can use your intellect for this. So that's 5d8.
Oh, thank you.
So it's 2 from intellect, 3 from folk medicine. Remember, you guys have power. You can always use power if you want extra little things to roll.
And that refreshes at the beginning of every session?
Nope, it refreshes 1 per hour of game time. So, like, if you rest a couple hours, you get those power back.
Right. That's right.
I do.
I listened, but it didn't...
It's fine. It's okay.
And I have... No...
Elodie, you touch it, and it is a fish. Very strange fish. It is just in... basically, I'll say with sort of no matches, but your general knowledge of knowledge, it probably is having trouble breathing since it's not underwater, because gills.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I would surmise that. Well, why don't y'all put it out of its misery? Because I wasn't present for the...
Yeah.
Well, I did try, but my blade wouldn't pierce the scales. So perhaps if there's... Do you have some sort of herbal sedation, perhaps?
This fish does not want to die. Not today. And I will not be a part of that.
Didn't you just say put it out of its misery? I mean, we were trying to do
I
that.
asked why you did not, because the poor thing is struggling.
Because I kept hitting it on the head with my hammer, just nothing happened. Just kept wriggling around.
And I don't have to be a party to that. Put it back in the water.
Oh, no, it's huge. We're keeping it. Narcissa, you are outside. You're probably hearing much of this. Freya, have you gone over to your sister, or are you walking into the tavern? No, over this situation.
I'll walk towards her, but as I hear her take put it out of its misery, I'm just gonna yell, "Just shoot it!"
Well, would you like to? Freya, I don't actually have a firearm.
Back at Lars and Berga, and I say, "They don't want me touching that thing," and I turn back. and head towards Narcissa.
You know what? Actually, Freya, make a I want you to make a marksmanship intellect roll.
Oh
So
god.
marksmanship is 3, intellect is 2.
Yeah, it's 3.
You can always throw on, extra dice if you need to. These are
And
not
Freya,
important
there's that little character quirk of yours, right? All your musket balls are silver, right? That's just a thing you do as like a
Yeah,
signature
all of them are
planning your
silver.
shots.
All of them are. All of them are. None of them are
Yes.
anything else. That's absolutely what it is. I'm rolling 5 dice, correct?
You are.
Oh, I got matching 4s. So
Okay.
it's a waxing gibbous, which is focus. So and clarity. So
Clarity is very good for this one, especially. So clarity, it kind of the clarity here would be, musket's balls are not a rare commodity, but you're not going to waste one shooting a sturgeon on land.
No.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Narcissa, you hear your sister shouting. What are you up to?
I'm like, start making my way over to the fish, and I'm sharpening a knife. But I'm just gonna stand there and see if anyone notices.
Okay. Yeah, you sharpen your knife a little. I'll say that Lars. I gave Lars 2 dice and he rolled 2 6s, so Lars actually spots you, and he goes, hey, would you you're not gonna take a cut or anything, are you? If you
Do you need
Oh,
help?
now you want her help.
Well, I just don't
I
want to share
completely
the.
turned
If you're
around.
trying to make like fish skin, purses or something. I mean, I don't. We'd sell it to you. You don't. And just Brig is like, just you can have some of the skin if you. This thing won't. Oh God! And you guys are wriggling. So Narcissa, you're there. Siobhan, you have a knife. Siobhan, are you just staying indoors? Are you coming out for this commotion? It is
Oh no,
entirely up to you.
no, I've come out. I've actually was sort of standing silently next to Narcissa, just looking bemusedly at this, sketching a little bit because this is one of the most interesting things I've seen all week.
All right.
Um,
It's a rough week.
yeah, well, not a lot happens here.
That's true.
I have a lot of regret, but
So
It's fine.
Siobhan, Elodie, and Narcissa are kind of standing around. Freya, you've moved a little further. Karn, you're literally holding the thing. But Narcissa, you have a knife, and Brig is like, just, do you think you could? Should we set it down? You want it out here, or should we take it into the tavern?
Are you gonna give me a cut?
Lars is like, no. Just let's go set it in the tavern, and we'll. At this point, the tavern owner, who's been watching all this, is just standing on the steps, and he is just like, no, you are not bringing your giant fish into my clean tavern, my relatively clean tavern. Thank you very much. And they're like, fine, we'll do it on. Where should and Lars like, no, we'll do it ourselves. We just need to set it down somewhere. Karn, where can we set it down? Just on the ground, right here?
I mean, this seems as good a place as any, but I have an idea, actually, Lars, if you would just hold it for a second.
Fine. Oh God, I carried it so far. All right, yeah, that's fine. He grips near where you're holding it.
I'm going to try what I did before, again, but rather than trying to stab it through the top of the head, I want to basically try to stab it through the palate of its mouth. So I want to put my knife inside and stab upwards.
Understood. Okay. So you sort of reach into the mouth and you're going to sort of stab into it. Are you going to be doing this delicately or just forcefully at this point?
No, at this point I'm just trying to shove through, right?
Okay. Then give me physicality. Give me physicality and fish anatomy.
Freya, that is one set waxing gibbous.
All right, so Karn, with one set waxing gibbous, you stab into the creature's mouth, sort of trying to sort of kind of just sink into the sort of soft flesh, almost like what like a hook might even do.
Mm-hmm.
And waxing gibbous is, determination, focus. You're sort of being very specific on it. And you're using your strength, but you find that as the knife goes through, you're not driving up as much. The knife is sliding against the roof of this creature's mouth. And as the fish begins to like squirm even more, you feel your arm almost like being pulled, and the knife is wrenched out of your mouth and seems to be swallowed. At which point, the creature begins even more violently shaking around. You're not harmed by it, you're not bit or anything, but you're just like, it's like you fish saliva all up your arm as you've tried to reach into it, and it basically like swallowed the knife.
Yeah, I'm gonna like wrench my arm out and pull out a cloth and just begin like wiping down my arm. Well, Brigand Lars, this fish has just swallowed my knife. I'm going to just say that I do not think this thing can be killed.
What?
But you're welcome to try.
You can't be killed? I mean, it'll. And Lars is like, we should just let it, we should just let it have no more air for a while. Wait, do some fish breathe? Because frogs breathe.
Oh.
They're fish.
No, fish do not breathe
Well,
air.
frogs breathe.
No. Those are amphibians.
What's
not
that?
Fish.
This is an amphibian then. This is an amphibian sturgeon.
That is not.
Well, he kind of he lets go and gestures and then gets like hit in the stomach by the thrashing tail, and just kind of at this point like Brig is on it. Well, what are we supposed to?
Let it go.
Let it go? No, we're not going to let it go. We need the money when this thing inevitably dies.
Okay, well, if you're such good fishermen, you can catch another one.
Lars is like,
Can't you? Or can you not?
not cool. Oh.
All right, Brigga, Lars. I'm not sure how you're going to go about killing this thing, but either, I guess you return it to the water, or you take it somewhere that's not public, because I don't think it's going to die. And if it thrashes about and knocks someone down in the street, that's not going to be a great thing for anyone.
I guess we could. Brig is like, Narcissa, do you want to try?
We could take it to my work table.
At your
Maybe
cottage
strap
or
it
just
down?
over there? All the way at your
Near
cottage?
my cottage.
Oh, it's so
Yeah.
far. Brig is like, shut up. Okay, yes, we'll do that. Thank you. So Lars is like, just can I have a minute before we carry it? It's really heavy and it hit me in the stomach. I'm really winded right now. God.
It's your
Sounds like a
fish.
you problem.
All right. So, at this point, the crowd,
Over
the crowd is somewhat dispersing. The sort of, kind of the proprietor of the tavern has said, "Well, are you coming in or out?" To kind of most people there. Lars and Brigga, they will sort of like regroup and they'll begin. At some point, Brigga, just as Lars is about to grab a hold of it, he's like getting his arms around it. Brigga kind of lets go and goes, "Wheelbarrow," and she just starts walking away, and the fish is now wiggling out of Lars's face and the tail slapping into the face, and he's not having a good time.
I will like stand. Is there like a little like porch or like stoop or like area, something like that for the tavern?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna stand by the door on that and just keep an eye on it
Easily done.
just before heading in.
Easily done. Easily done. So, what is that? So, Siobhan, Elodie, So as Karn is doing that, Narcissa, I assume you're kind of like accompanying them as they begin heading back to your home. Freya, Elodie, and Siobhan, what are we up to?
I mean, I'll accompany you, Narcissa, if you'd like the company. I don't really have much other things to do.
Yeah, you can watch.
Just doesn't have much else to do. It's that friend. Oh my god.
Yeah.
That friend is
Like,
just like,
okay.
what do you guys, is anybody doing anything? I'm just gonna... Lord.
Hello, Elodie.
Elodie, what are you up to?
Yeah. I am following along because I do have, of course, a little pouch for Freya, and I do have some berries and flowers for Narcissa to dye some hide with. That I was meaning to give her at the Blue Moon Tavern, but we're not heading there, so I'll just make my way over with them. Also, I would like to know that I would like it to be noted that she is always wearing like a belt with like a bunch of pouches and like spaces for like bottles and stuff that she has stuff.
Sounds...
She's got something for everything.
Sounds...
a lot of the time.
good. All right.
She smells great.
I'm sure she does.
She does.
And
The opposite of Freya.
And unlike the way you phrased some things earlier, I will say late 30s, early 40s looks better than ever.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I have a moisturizing balm that I made.
It shows.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit of magic too, but don't tell anyone.
That's fine. So as Elodie and Siobhan kind of head with Narcissa and these two fishers who are loading this thing into a wheelbarrow, Karn, they're kind of getting out of the city as you requested. Freya, you'd kind of been walking to the tavern. Did you just carry on in? What is your plan here as you hear what's unfolding?
I see Narcissa taking them to our cottage, and I do one of those things where, again, I go, and I kind of like spin in the dirt of the mud, like in my boot. I just go, oh, I gotta follow her. I follow. I like look at Karn, and I just go, and I just follow at like a wide berth, like 40, 50 feet.
Understood. So as you're
yeah, and I almost want to like do it stealthily.
Understood. Well, you can certainly do that, but I will say, just to add insult to insult, as you're sort of making this decision, you do kind of hear kind of like you notice various people kind of entering the tavern. Did you ever even make it in, or were you never quite?
No,
Yeah.
I was like right behind Karn on like the portico, but I was still in the street, so that's why I was like
Understood.
I spun in the dirt. and
So
was
you
just,
kind
like,
of you're spinning there, and as you're preparing to head away, you hear like a roar go up from within the tavern as a voice calls out, like, Hank, he got an elk today. Hank got an elk. And Hank is kind of the main other hunter in this area who kind of patrols the other section of town. And you hear that Hank got an elk today.
Third time this week.
Just so as you move away, it's not only is your sister doing this, but now this Hank guy who just
How loud is Hank announcing this?
Hank is not announcing it. Hank was very like, I did get an elk. I got lucky today. All the others are like pumping up how great it was that he got an elk.
So he's humbled too.
If there's a way for me to have observed this from where I am, I would. I'll just call out to Freya as she's making her way out.
Yeah.
Just buy a drink.
I again defeatedly sigh, which has become my MO. I just go, one, and then I sneak back before she notices I'm not there.
I'm going to
And
say,
I run inside.
understood. I will say, just given Narcissa's sort of focus on the insanity that's going on, and maybe just like her name a little bit. I'm gonna assume that she was not paying too much attention to stuff not involving her. So we'll say that your sneaking and just your stealth, whatever, you were able to kind of not. She did not observe you, so you head on back into the tavern. Wonderful. Love it, love it, love it. So
As I do,
Yeah.
the first person I see that was cheering for Hank,
mhm.
can I do the thing where I walk in and I just like see the first person and I just like take them by the shirt cuff and just pull them down really quickly so that they like accidentally like hit their like forehead to the table, and I just go, "Oh, so sorry about that." And just
Yeah,
keep
give me
walking in.
give me a. This would just be a coordination. You can buy
Great.
power. You got 3 on that.
Yeah, I'll buy get a
1 bonus.
bonus.
All right.
1 bonus, so it's 2 more. So
Yeah,
I'm rolling 5.
Well, no. So 1, you spend 2 power to get 1 extra, so you're rolling 4.
Right.
Yeah.
And yeah, I got no matches on that one.
And no matches. Well, you could always spend 3 more and re-roll them, but
Yeah, I want to.
you
I'm
want
very annoyed.
you need this. All right.
And I did. I got it. And it's a first corner, so it's accomplishment in action.
Accomplishment and action. And the person you're doing this to, so you're now down to 8 power. The person you're doing this to, rolled a match as well. Their match was a waning crescent, which is sort of acceptance and serenity. So I will say that in a tie break like this, we'll say that your accomplishment and action is going to
Kinda like
outwit it.
you
So
just-
you, yeah. So you and since it was a tie, you probably don't like fully you jostle them. You don't do like the complete whatever. But there's kind of like a hey. But it's at this point, it's kind of it's a bit wild. I mean, Karn probably witnesses this, but for the most part, the person's just like kind of shoving you off.
And I will sort of like, if I can, I will just sort of like lock my like elbow around her and start to pull her away. It's like, you cannot keep doing this. I will have to do something.
But Hank doesn't even know how to trap.
I
I'm a better
understand.
shooter than Hank.
I understand, but those things are not technically illegal.
It's just because he's a man, and I'm just trying to make my way in this village with my sister. And he's a man, and everybody's gonna think that he's a better hunter and trapper than me.
Again, I understand, but then maybe take it up with Hank at the very least, and not just some random person. Please don't assault random people. I really need you to stop doing that.
But it's like the people around Hank. Like, it's not actually like it is Hank, but it's the like society around Hank of this masculinity culture that's around him, like hyping him up and making it worse.
Well, maybe then just like challenge him to a duel. That's fine. That's part of how it works. You know, then you
They're
can prove
gonna
who's the
make
better
some
shot.
sort of excuse though about how, oh well, she cheated or he let her win or something like that.
I mean, he might be dead then though, so it probably won't matter. But I don't know. That's a
No.
legal way to go about settling this dispute. That's all I'm saying.
That's fair.
Randomly assaulting people in the tavern really needs to stop, Freya. That's all I'm saying. I like you, and I want to see you succeed here with your sister, but like, I can't keep looking the other way.
You can one more time though.
Hank for his part, I'm actually gonna see if Hank noticed you do that. And Hank, Hank doesn't have nothing for look.
Well, he's a great hunter, apparently.
Yeah, that's the other thing is he fucking keeps bagging these elves. Like I don't know what to tell you. But at this point, you notice. I'll tell you what. Do either of you have insight?
I do.
No.
Um,
Would that be under
it's a skill
knowledge?
you'd have. You could just roll like.
Oh,
probably-
absolutely. not.
Honestly, for this case, I will say, Karn, you could do I would let you do will or vitality to kind of get a different. Vitality is just going to be kind of like observing cues. Will would be more of like sensing the guy's vibe. But go ahead and make an insight roll for me.
Let's do
On him.
will, and I'll spend 2 power to get a bonus.
All right, so that gets you up to what, 6?
6, yeah.
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 Wonderful.
I have animals, not people. I'm one of those people that get along better with animals.
That's become abundantly clear.
Let's go ahead and re-roll that, and
Okay.
I'm gonna spend. So I'm gonna spend 5 power total because I'm gonna hold on to 2.
You're gonna hold 2 and re-roll the other 4. Love it.
Right. So it's 3 to re-roll, and then 1 for each one I'm keeping. Right.
Correct.
Okay. Okay. So that's 2 pair.
Ooh.
Let's go with 1.
I'll
as
tell
the
you what,
dominant.
there's actually,
Oh, sorry.
this is an interesting case where there's 2 things you could kind of learn, so you'll learn even more. You'll kind of be aware of even more. What are the 2 things?
There is a pair of 1s and a pair of 2s, and if I'm choosing, I would choose the 1 to be the dominant.
The 1s would be the dominant. Okay, perfect. In that case, I will say that the 1s kind of, because you're sort of, you're going to gain insight on 2 different things here, on 2 different elements. You're gaining insight on the fact that Hank, at this point, is like he's kind of just like hastily finishing his drink, and kind of like nodding to the person who bought it for him, and just like he's just like kind of like nodding but not making a big deal to everyone else. He just kind of he's you know, being somewhat respectful or polite or whatever, and saying, you know, thanks to that person, and then he is just getting the hell out, and you can tell that he is doing this because he could tell Freya was mad or whatever. And you can also tell he just doesn't want to have it be a thing.
Such a good guy.
He really is the best.
Freya, you know, it occurs to me that your quarrel may not be with Hank. I think he also seems like he sort of respects you as a fellow hunter. You might be right, it might be more of the society around Hank. So, we'll just have to find a way to help you bring in some bigger game.
Fair. But it's true, the society, I mean, look at people cheering him on.
Right. Yes. Well, if he brings in 1
you
elk,
could-
we'll bring in 2 elks. Right. You can hunt in high heels and backwards, you know?
You could say that the society around him is toxic, but it's fine.
I certainly hope not. I don't have an epidemic on my hands.
No.
But anyway.
I'll take a quick drink though before Narcissa notices that I'm not there, and until she wants to yell at me that I'm not there. And then you know how she is. So
I don't, but other than your stories.
Well, as
she's great. She's just intense.
as Team Freya, as we end our time watching them, we'll go over to Team Narcissa. Narcissa, at this point, you know, like it's kind of getting into the magic hour here. It's getting a little dark. You're sort of pushing, or they're kind of like Brigga is pushing the wheelbarrow that she borrowed. This sturgeon is flopping around in it, and Lars is just kind of trying to like hold it a little bit on top as it's moving. So Narcissa, Elodie, and Siobhan, the 3 of you are able to walk, but it is beginning to get a little bit dark.
And I was just surprised at how eloquent he was. You know, after the last week when he bagged the elk, he kept talking about how he wasn't just about him; it was about, you know, all hunters. I found him to be really a kind guy.
Oh my
I don't have to tell you about that, Narcissa.
Oh my God, Siobhan, I'm just gonna say that on the occasions you've like tried to do like a poetry reading or something, like Hank will come.
Oh,
He just doesn't
yeah,
like
no,
react.
he's-
He'll just come and sit there and kind of politely like,
He's he's stoic. He's super supportive.
yeah.
He's the
He's really kind.
competition. I don't even know why we give him the time of day.
I just think you might want to give him a chance. You know. It's your choice, but
So, you're nearing your cottage. It's kind of dark. Your cottage is probably like a quarter mile kind of outside of the town. It's not like super far off or anything, and it's a pretty well trod sort of area there. Definitely can get dark this time of night or this time of an afternoon. But you see your cottage pretty soon, and they're just kind of and you hear Brigga basically grumbling about the fact that they're missing like really good fishing time right now.
You're the one who wanted to catch the fish, and now you're complaining. You can take the fish back. I'm not going to take it in then.
And Lars is like, we caught it because of when it's always like when the tide's coming in, or the even in a lake. I guess that's what I mean. That's what I've always thought it is. And she goes, yeah, that's what it is. That's the fish. The fish are kind of easier to catch right now. That's all. Bigger, and if you find any crabs, they're pretty good too. It's the time to catch them.
I don't think now is not the time to be worrying about the tide.
Fine, whatever.
Do I think they actually caught this fish?
Interesting question.
Seems like something fishy is going on.
I'll tell you what. Intellect and analyze. You have many fields of knowledge, but unfortunately none of them are applicable.
If I get a triple, is that
triple is just
better?
an even higher degree. It's just an even. So yeah, your mind goes.
Yes. Third quarter justice, preparation, understanding.
Perfect. Okay, so understanding is a great thing for when you're sort of doing an analysis type role. So Siobhan, you don't at all sense that they didn't catch the fish, but you definitely get the impression that there was something weird about the catching of it that they may not have even shared. Mm-hmm. And you doubt they caught it on a line, because a fish like this would be hard to catch on a line, and it's like a really serious line. So they're not lying about having they definitely got it, but it was from some weird thing or some sort of strange something.
What? I hate to interrupt, but
yeah,
where did you find this fish?
And Lars is like, it was the damnedest thing. We were in the canoe, we weren't even trying to get sturgeon, but it kept surfacing next to us. And at first we thought it was trying to ram us, but it seemed like it was trying to get into the boat. And like pretty soon it was like wriggling up, and like we pulled it in. I don't know if it's something's weird in its head or something. Maybe it switched. Maybe it fish switched and now it needs air.
Maybe it was being hunted.
Maybe it was trying to escape.
Okay. Point is, we fucking goddamn. Shit. God, this thing slaps me one more time. Oh, I can't wait for you to be dead.
I'll just make a knowing look at Siobhan, because I feel like we're.
Oh yeah. I mean.
Yeah.
All right, can we hurry this up?
So sure,
We
they
need to work on this fish.
They push it through, and she's like, God, it's first. Brigga's still irritated, but eventually they're kind of getting to your sort of like workstation outside your cottage, and Brigga's just still mumbling about like how the first couple hours of the full moon are the best time to be fishing. Like you get it's like the crabs have more meat, the bigger fish come to the surface, whatever. There's more light they're drawn to. She's just going on and on about how you're missing the prime time. But they slam this giant wriggling sturgeon onto your work table. I will say that you can pretty easily like light some, torches and things around it, because it's not night yet, but it's getting dark.
And then I was gonna grab some leathers and wrap the fish on the table to try to secure it.
Oh, that I really wish. Excellent. I really wish that this was a Blood from a Stone game, because I would literally turn the dread clock back because you did that, because that's so on point for what's going on. So, you don't know what any of that means, and honestly, neither does Billy, but that's just it. Yeah, go ahead.
Is it not? You read an invocation and you're the Dreadmaster.
Mm-hmm. So, Narcissa, as you sort of slam this thing down, and you begin to strap it in, let's roll to see how securely you strap it down. I will say that this is... Go ahead, Siobhan.
I was just going to say, while she's doing that, I want to ask the Fisher people.
Yeah.
Was it always struggling?
I mean, yeah, pretty much. It was pretty hard rowing with it in the boat. It was struggling less. Once we got it onto land, it started really freaking out. Trying to figure what are things. I'm gonna let you put a butchery on top of this. I think we'll do coordination, because this is about being sort of precise. So you'll have 4 there. I'm going to allow you partial on your animal anatomy skills, your knowledge of it, because fish is not your main forte, and you don't necessarily know how to strap down living ones, but I'll say you know enough of it to get 1. So that brings you to a total of 5 dice, and you could always spend power for more if you'd like. But right now you're going to roll 5.
We'll do 5.
Cool. Because that's how many you have.
Yep, that's right. I mean, I could do virtual dice. Got a match. It's at 5.
5 is the full moon.
Full moon.
So kind of with sort of grace, sort of, with ardor, or as it were, you do manage to strap this fish down pretty securely. And it's wriggling, but it's not. And Lars is like, thank God. He just kind of sits down on like a barrel or something, Oh man, this has been a day. Just kind of, looking at it. This thing's weird. So.
Great.
Oh, it's so fun because the 2 who have high of this. Well, I guess Elodie's not bad, and maybe neither's. So, you've strapped this animal down. It is still wriggling, but it is kind of moving a little more. But it's kind of just weird movements, just in agitation. Narcissa, what is your plan? And you did see Karn try to stab it in the throat, and it ate his knife.
I did. I'm gonna grab my biggest knife.
Okay.
And I was gonna attempt to gut it, so go in through its side and try. Yeah.
All right. It's a grisly game here. So Narcissa, make me a butchery, and are you kind of doing this by strength or just by like kind of light-handedness?
Yeah, light-handedness.
Okay, so we'll say butchery and coordination. You know what? We'll give you the animal anatomy on top, the partial for that. So that'll be a 5 total. Elodie and Siobhan, what are the 2 of you doing?
I'm drawing this, and I'm looking at. I'm throwing some glances at Elodie.
I'm standing by Siobhan, just observing. I feel like I'm feeling very disquieted by this whole situation.
As am I.
Brig is like, strapping it down makes sense. That was the way to do it, because we couldn't. I mean, we tried this. We tried to gut it. It wouldn't work. Narcissa, go ahead and make your roll.
So I rolled. I have 1 match. Okay. It's first quarter.
A first quarter.
So that's 3.
Accomplishment, action, decision, kind of being sort of quick at it. A single match. It's very strange. You cannot get your knife in to cut. You can get so precise, but like you honestly feel like the stomach is almost like giving slightly as you push on it. But the scales, it feels like you're trying to like cut through like steel, like chainmail or something. You're just not. You're not getting through.
And where did you catch this fish? This is not like anything I've encountered.
The lake. I know it's a weird fish. I think it switched. I think it's an air breathe fish now.
I don't know. It doesn't feel like a fish. It feels rock hard.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, okay. So wait, you can kill it or you can't kill it?
We could try a different method.
Go for it. You can have all the skin.
I'm gonna go grab a nearby boulder.
Full on rock. All right, cool. I like it. Make a physicality roll for that.
Let's see. That's a 5. One match. A full moon again.
You rolled 2 5s?
Yeah.
Wow. All right. Just on 2?
Yeah.
Well, that's great. You get a pretty damn big rock in that case. And in fact, you kind of like wander up and kind of like into the gloom, you know, is kind of the light is going down. And kind of Elodie and Siobhan, you're still just drawing. Elodie, you're thinking. And then you both hear Lars go, oh, jeez. And Narcissus like bringing like a you know, like huge rock. What's the plan, Narcissa?
I'm gonna try to bludgeon the fish's head.
All right. Are you gonna drop? You're gonna try to drive down. What's the play here?
Drive down.
All right. Make another. So yeah, just 2 more. Just 2 dice physicality. Just 2d8.
Okay. Yeah.
Just hunting doubles.
Ooh, no, not a double.
All right, so you try to sort of drive it down, and the rock is just like too heavy for you to. You drop it like on the fish, but it doesn't like slant, and it kind of just falls off onto the ground.
Well,
anyone want to try to help me out here?
I think that's enough of that. I think this fish deserves to go back in the lake at this point. Looks like you're not going to get your skin. You're not going to get your meat. This
Lars
thing
is
just
like, whatever.
isn't ready to die today.
And Brigga's like, fine, whatever, fine. That's fine. Lars, no, it's not. We caught it. We get it. Oh.
But, I mean, perhaps you should think about if you did catch it.
What?
Maybe
Yeah.
it was just getting in your boat.
We caught it. We did catch it. What are you
Or
saying?
did you just let it in your boat?
Did you? Yeah, did you catch it?
Am I going crazy right now? What's happening?
Well, I mean, you could have already been. That's neither here nor there. But the fact of the matter is, this fish ain't gonna die tonight. You should let it go.
Okay, I mean, okay. He's just sort of he doesn't love this, but Brigga has kind of accepted. Like, I can't believe we caught a big one, and it's all right. Well,
everyone saw how big it was when you caught it.
It's like, yeah, but it doesn't matter if you don't do something cool with it. It's fine, whatever.
Well, in any case, it swallowed a knife, didn't it? So
Oh, yeah.
you might be able to find its bloated corpse floating up on shore in a couple days.
It'll die eventually with a knife in it once it gets to its stomach or whatever.
Do me a favor, if you do find the corpse of the fish, let me know.
Okay, yeah, we can do that. At this point, the light has dipped even lower. It's dark overhead.
Is there a moon?
Well, yeah, it's a full moon tonight.
It's full moon, yeah.
Wait, I missed that. Sorry.
And That's why they were sad to be missing the good fishing. So the moon is just beginning to rise, and there are these trees, but the light of the full moon is just sort of about to kind of get a little bit higher. We'll cut back over to Freya and Karn. You two are just hanging out in a tavern.
One quick question. Since we were at the top of the hour, do we regain 1 power?
No, an hour needs to pass.
Well, I mean, more than an hour has passed. I'm just basically asking now.
Oh, no, an hour has not passed.
Oh, in game time, not like us playing game.
In the game. It's like it's basically, here's what it is. You get 1 power back every short rest, and a short rest is anything that's not combat.
Understood now.
Yeah, it's not the every hour of the game I just give you a couple back. Yeah, it's in game.
I understand.
I'm cribbing that from, for people who care about such things, I'm cribbing that from the Call of Cthulhu's magic point system. You just get 1 back per hour. That's kind of their refresh rate. So, so Karn and Freya, you guys are finishing up your drink.
I am finishing up my rattle skull.
I definitely did the thing where I was like, 1 drink, and now I'm like 2.5 deep. You know what I mean? Like,
okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Not like 2.5 deep, but like I'm on my second. But I was
get
on
it.
the
You're
I was
definitely
doing the like. Why did I have to go? But now we're just hanging out.
Yeah, you're having more.
Oh, how do you bait the traps, Freya? I've just sort of been curious about that. Not really much of a hunter. I mean, I bait when I fish.
Well, it's like you bait it, but then you also have to disguise the area, right? So you have to like make it part of the environment, or else, they don't know. So like when you fish, you're baiting it based on like what it needs, but with trapping, it's like it's both. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think so.
You gotta like make it part of the environment, or else they're just not gonna notice, or they're going to notice and they're gonna avoid it. You're smarter than you think.
So you have to kind of, you also have to sort of, there's artistry in it seems, right? Because you have to disguise it. You have to make it look like it's something that's natural in the environment, that's not bait, that's a trap. It's just something that happens to be there.
Thank you for calling it an art. I really, really appreciate that. I don't get that kind of positive feedback a lot, but I do think there's a delicate art to doing it. So you're a good friend, Karn.
I'm gonna say that as I have to say, then you guys are having a pleasant conversation in the tavern, and I never ever thought, based on everything I thought, that when what's about to happen was gonna happen in the first game, that the 2 people who wouldn't be present were Millie and Pierce. So, meanwhile,
that's dramatic irony. That's what that is.
So, Narcissa, they're saying they're going to release it. Lars is sort of pouting. She's just kind of shaking her head. I'm going to give an opportunity here. Siobhan, you said that you were drawing it. I would actually like for you to give me a look and intellect roll. You're using your brain for this, so that is 6. You don't have any relevant knowledge things for this, unfortunately.
That's fine. That's 6 though.
It is 6, so yeah, roll 6d8. And you could always buy stuff if you'd like.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and use my sure mind.
Excellent. Yes.
And re-roll, keeping.
So yes,
keeping the ones.
Perfect. And I'm going to explain that feature as you do that. So some people, you know how when you spend points to re-roll, you can spend more to keep certain dice?
All right.
Some people have features that are called sure. I think both Freya and Narcissa have sure hands, which means when they're doing things involving coordination, they don't have to spend points to keep some. And Siobhan, Andrew has one for whenever you're using an intellect-based roll. You can keep some, but not all. So you've spent your 3 points here.
I have a triple match.
A triple
Uh, like-
match.
Like three dice matching.
Yes.
The mark of the devil. 3 6s. Wayne, give us perspective.
Perspective. Oh, then your perspective especially is going to be helpful here. With your sort of clear perspective under the darkness, before the moon has risen over the tree line. It's happening in moments. Siobhan, you have sketched this creature. There's something very interesting about this fish. That despite its seeming invulnerability, there is actually a chunk of it missing. It is just under, let me just look at yes, part of the, I think it's called a ventral fin. Do I know about? Yeah, that's the underside. Pelvic fin, also ventral fin. One of the pelvic fins has a large sort of like portion of it that's like ragged, and then some of the flesh next to it there is like rent and missing as well. Sort of a ragged space that kind of no one really noticed because no one really inspected this creature. But since you've been drawing it, you have noticed that.
Well, that's an interesting observation I gave to myself.
Perfect. So, Narcissa, they say they...
I'll actually, you know what? I'll actually lean over to Elodie
Okay.
and just be like, I'll just sort of be like, huh, yeah, notice this? But like, not make a big deal of it.
Narcissa, here's how we're going to deal with this. You, at this point, they say they're going to release it. Are you letting this thing go, or are you going to unstrap?
Yeah, I'm going to unstrap it.
Perfect. So, Narcissa, I'm actually going to have you make a luck roll with your insight. So, roll 4d8.
Is it a werefish?
If this fish turns into a wolf,
I freaking called werefish in our chat.
No matches.
No matches. Understood. So, yeah, Narcissa, you begin to unstrap.
Okay.
And as you unstrap it, kind of like the moon has risen, shining down into this little outdoor space where you work. A full moon rising up over the top of the trees. And as you're unstrapping it, the fish becomes kind of out of nowhere. This is very American Werewolf in London. The fish, if the fish could speak, it would suddenly thrash and scream, "Oh, Jesus Christ." As the fish begins to just, like, in this absolute agony, just begin to, just sticking itself up, kind of becoming rigid and shaking in a strange way. You've unstrapped part of it, and it is like, it's not really thrashing at this point, and it's trying to make a sound. It doesn't really have vocal cords. There's this kind of sound coming out of it. Kind of no air can be drawn into it, but whatever air is in its stomach is just being expelled as there's this horrific, like kind of the stench of it coming out of it is horrible. And, Siobhan and Elodie, you've been saying, no, Siobhan. I'm gonna say that's how I'll do it, okay. And suddenly, as it, like, you notice its jaw, kind of like his lower jaw seems to begin to, like, unhinge a little bit. And as it spasms, something shoots out of it. A knife. Shoots out of it right into Lars's stomach. And he begins to just shout as this knife pierces his stomach, blood's beginning to sort of shoot everywhere, kind of as this thing, Brigga sort of screams. But the fish is not done with its sort of transformation, but your attention is probably split between it and the creature. I'll set the scene for one more moment here. You've sort of unhooked it. It's moving around. Its fins are kind of like thickening and also growing a little bit hairy. Which is a strange thing as you see this like fur beginning to like poke out around its scales.
All right, at this point, I'm going to
yes.
scream out to Narcissa and tell her exactly the weak point that I saw in the fewest words possible.
Okay.
The abdominal fin.
Great. I'm gonna grab the knife I had before and try to find the spot while it's like writhing around.
Understood. Oh boy. All right. So as you're trying to sort of find that spot, that would be. I'll let that be intellect. You're hearing it. You're getting this stuff. This isn't really butchery. I'll give you your animal anatomy. So basically, this is you get 4 on this. You can spend power to gain more if you want. I'm sorry. This is
Why
so
not?
it's
Why not?
it's coordination or intellect. Either way is fine. So you'll get 4. Yeah. So you're gonna buy 1 more die.
Okay. Yeah. Why not?
You got 5. And
Okay.
here, I'll adjust your current power for you. There you go.
Okay. 1 match. It's 6.
A 6. All right.
So waning gibbous.
Waning gibbous' assertion. That's a good thing to be doing. If its match is a 5, you're going to be in trouble. So interesting. So I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys what I just rolled for this creature. I rolled.
I'm scared.
2, 3, 3, 4, 5, and 8. Okay. Now, I don't know how many of you read all the rules, but the last of the quick rules is about something called transforming dice. Which means the 2 and the 8 both turn into 5s. So as you try to like drive your knife into that weak point, the little fin that is growing is turning into a paw. And it almost like it can't clasp you, but it is like pushing. It's extending out from what had been this sort of small sort of ventral fin that's damaged. And though you can see some like injury upon it, kind of being twisted in, it is pushing out. Elodie and Siobhan, as you're sort of so Narcissa, it's like kind of like it's not grasping you. You could pull yourself away, but it is like blocking you, and it's strong. And this kind of like limb is basically sticking out of not that fin, but all of the fins. Including oddly the dorsal fin on the back, which is kind of transforming into this almost like thick tail-like appendage, just kind of coming out of its back. Fur is going here. So Narcissus, you're not caught by it, but it has definitely thwarted your attempt to kind of try to cut into that weak spot. Elodie and Siobhan, from your perspective, Lars is on the ground screaming. Brig is kind of stunned into silence. These very large, almost canine-like fangs are beginning to sort of split out of its mouth, which is kind of lengthening in this just horrible fashion. And it is free of one of those sort of straps. So the other one kind of yes. Go ahead, Elodie.
Is this foreign to all of us? Like, do we know anything that weird that happens around a full moon?
I will say that, and the 2 who might have this, let's see.
That's exactly what I was going to ask.
Yeah.
Siobhan has folklore of 1. And you have folklore of 1, you also have folk magic of 2. I will say that Elodie, kind of the idea of, you're familiar with werewolves? Siobhan, you certainly are seeing
Not werefish.
A transformation. So, but werewolf is coming to both of your minds.
Okay.
I'm not quite sure how this facet works, but like or even how to pronounce it.
Okay, sorry.
Eidetic memory.
Oh, eidetic memory. Absolutely.
Yes.
This is a great time for an eidetic memory. I think it's pronounced
So
eidetic.
this is
that
yeah.
right?
I don't
I
know.
believe so.
Yeah.
Yes.
This I wanted like a thing to do.
Absolutely, now is an opportunity for you to try such a thing.
Okay.
Yeah, so the way this works basically is if you have information that could help you here, you are allowed to simply spend 3 power to remember. I will
Yes.
tell you that you, because of your knowledge of folklore and such, you have information. So if you want to spend
Right.
3 power, you automatically will
spend
gain
it.
information.
Yes.
And the cool thing about eidetic memory, Karn actually has a similar feature to this. There's no risk to this. If you ask if you can use it, and I say there's nothing you know, like you can't waste the points. So, Siobhan, you think upon werewolves, and you do know that people say silver damages werewolves. Really just werewolves, because technically, etymologically speaking, this is not a werefish. This is a
fish.
This is a pesca wolf.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Siobhan, silver pops into your mind.
As I'm thinking, I'm also definitely thinking Pescawolf, my character.
Oh yeah, your character. Yeah, that's a freebie on an eidetic memory. You know it's a pesca wolf.
Absolutely. Is the knife? Is there any silver around?
Any
My
silver?
sickle. Is there any reason why it would be made out of silver, or is it just a sickle?
You want to know if your sickle is made of silver? Well, that is
Or if
going.
it has sickle in it, or silver in it.
Or my calligraphy set?
Okay, so seeing if calligraphy sets or sickles, those are things that would be less likely to have silver in them, but what you could both do for that. Dude, those would be, alright, those would just be really, you do have folk medicine though, don't you, Elodie?
I was gonna say, like, it wouldn't be
All right.
unreasonable that there would be a precious
Make-
metal in her tools.
Make a luck folk medicine, you do need a degree of 3 to succeed on this. So
Okay.
luck in folk medicine for you is 5. Siobhan, you have, because I could understand
Wait,
there.
how is that
I'm just
5?
gonna
It's just two.
I'm just gonna
Oh.
yell to Narcissa and ask if she has any silver
Oh
around.
no, 3. Yeah, I'm sorry. I was
Understood.
looking
You'll
at
ask
folk
if
magic.
You'll ask if Narcissa has silver on. Narcissa, for you to have silver on hand is not as hard a prospect. So could you please make a luck? And I'm gonna have this be a charm roll. Let's see if anybody ever gave you some silver because you're such a sweetheart.
Well, she's got to
Right.
have silver in hand because all of Freya's musket bullets are made out of silver.
That is the thing.
previously
That's
established.
the thing I've heard you say a couple times, and I just will clarify that is not accurate. All right. so Elodie, what did you roll?
I would like to add 2 bonuses, so I will spend 4 power.
4 power to roll. So you're rolling 6 total. Or no,
Yes.
7 total.
No, 7 total.
7 total. Great.
Okay, hold on.
And Narcissa, you are rolling. You're rolling 5 total.
Okay.
So 2 for luck, 3 for charm.
3 of a kind, 7.
7. Great.
So 3rd quarter. That is justice, preparation, and
Preparation's
understanding.
very helpful here. Narcissa, what do you got?
Just have one match.
One
and
match.
it's full moon.
Full moon, passion. Oh, passion is great. So Narcissa, here's the vibe. A paramour of yours, someone who really wanted to be Team Narcissa in a big way. Whoever this person was,
It was
they.
definitely Hank. It was definitely Hank.
It,
Yes,
No,
Hank.
Hank.
My
Do you-
best friend.
Do you want it to be Hank? Do we want to say Hank? Guys, do we want to say that Hank is in love with Narcissa? Is that what we want to say? Is that what's
just
happening
really
now?
respects her. I think he just really respects her. I think he just really respects her.
Because of the passion, whoever gave this to Narcissa,
Oh,
whoever they may be, is like
This is intense.
is like wants to be with Narcissa. But I will entirely allow this kind of stuff. Would you like it to be Hank who gave this to you, or is it just some random person?
Sure, let's make it Hank. Since
Okay,
we love
so
him.
Narcissa. Oh, Hank. Here we go. So two things are
Yes,
going
He's
on here.
really good. He's really thoughtful, you know?
And you know, one thing I'll say about Hank is he always smells great. He always comes to me for a little tincture, so he smells nice. I will say that.
He's supportive,
So
thoughtful.
He's
Hank?
still the competition.
Hank's the competition, and he knows it, and he really respects your sister and doesn't want to bother her, but he also he's and Hank's like very kind of quiet and just kind of like whatever, but like because you have such high charm, when you enter a place, you just light up a room, and Hank's just very sad because he knows your sister's a competition. He also
And you know what? He asked me for a scent that would be pleasing to a certain lady, and I did concoct something that was rather
but
nice.
he didn't.
He wouldn't specify who.
And he never gave it to her. He was just too like, this is such a bad move. But one thing he did give you, Narcissa, thanks to that role, because for you to have some silver somewhere in your house is not as hard a thing as for Elodie to have some on her or Siobhan. So Narcissa, Hank once gave to you a silver pendant. It's a decent size. It's a precious metal. Because of this stuff with your sister, I will say for dramatic whatever, you don't have it on you. Because you wouldn't wear that. Like, and also, if you don't like Hank, you're probably not wearing his thing unless you're like in love with him secretly, but whatever. It's in your room. So you'd have to run into the house and get it, and then somehow manage to like get it into this creature, stick it on a knife or a hammer or God, like that's the whole thing. But it's a good big piece of silver that you could try to get through. Elodie, my dear.
Yes.
In your mini pouches, you do have some silver filings, possibly in an aqueous solution. I'm really just remembering getting does anybody do that in chemistry class in high school or middle school where you
I went to a public school, so no.
you get a little vial in it, then you dry it out? Okay, so in any case, you have some silver shavings amongst yourself. This is going to be a much harder thing for you to necessarily use to harm this creature, but you are aware that it would, kind of what Siobhan is shouting about. You realize that you do somewhere on you have a little vial of sort of, silvery shavings that could maybe be helpful.
Okay. So would I have the knowledge of whether or not it would have to go into a wound or a mouth, or if it got in his eyes?
Oh, how interesting. You have human anatomy, not fish anatomy, but I would actually let you roll for this. An intellect plus folk medicine, and I'll give you 1 for the anatomy part of your human anatomy. So that gets you to 6. 6 moon dice.
Okay.
Narcissa, are you running in to grab that, or are you...
I'm gonna run in. I'm gonna attempt.
Okay.
I got a match, and it's 2 7s again.
So you have 2 7s. So once again, preparation, understanding. Yes, you would suspect that it probably would not be lethal, but it would be extremely weakening to this creature to put it to have it swallow this, or in its eyes would probably blind it pretty, getting it into a mucous membrane of some kind would be a much faster delivery system for sure.
Okay, and I'm sorry, is the silver you said is in a fluid, or is it dry?
It is suspended in an oil, probably.
Okay.
Let's see.
Okay.
Actually,
Do you see where I'm trying to go with this?
yeah, we'll say you
I
keep
can
them
vibe with
dry.
either one.
That's fine.
Okay.
But as you're fishing this out, it is at this point that everyone hears. Well, I guess I should just for the hell of it. And I don't even need to transform. You hear, as Elodie, as you're there, and Siobhan, you're sort of like backed away, you guys hear the sound of leather stretching and snapping. And suddenly this, like, it's kind of on its side, this now almost salamander-shaped kind of thing, like, this kind of elongated wolf-like creature, as its eyes turn just like wolf yellow, and it's just and it is now going to sort of leap off the table.
This is not sexy at all.
There are 4 viable targets, but I am going to
disagree.
There are 4 viable targets out here. Narcissa has run, so Brigga and what's his face, Lars, and Elodie and Siobhan. That being said, Lars is a better target because he's already injured. So I'm going to roll a d6. Elodie, Siobhan. Elodie, you are 1. Siobhan, you are 2. Brigga is 3. Lars is 4 through 6. If anyone would like to remove themselves from this, you can actually spend 5 power to just kind of like fully get yourself out of the way and increase the likelihood it's not you. Any takers? Cool. So you just don't want me to roll a 1 or a 2. It's a 66%, chance, 2/3 chance. It's an NPC.
Roll it.
Shit.
It's Lars. Poor Lars.
Lars.
You saw a disappointment on my face, but because I'm a bad person. So suddenly, as you're fishing through, this creature leaps forward, and Lars is on sort of like kind of like already on the ground, but I think it smelled the blood. And these jaws snap open and just crunch onto Lars, and Lars just once again with the insult as he's being like his stomach and rib cage are being ripped open, and these kind of like these very stubby, kind of just imagine a fish's fins just kind of extended like a little bit at each one, this stubby thing kind of like grabbing for purchase, but this long strange tail-like thing comes from its back and just starts bludgeoning Lars in the face, breaking his nose, spending blood, shooting everywhere. Some teeth fall as he's just pounding him. Lars like, Brigga is screaming. She's taking off running. Elodie, you're going through your bag. Siobhan.
Okay, but I would like seeing that. I'm fucking running.
Elodie
Are you
runs.
kidding
Understood.
me?
Great.
I will shout, run, to those not running.
Understood. Perfect.
I mean, we just have to run faster than Lars, right?
Well, Lars is just getting eaten. Siobhan, what are you doing? Are you running as well?
Elodie's running.
Elodie stopped looking and is running. Yes.
And I specifically was told you, because your survival instincts maybe don't exist. You don't spend a lot of time outside, so run.
That's a backhanded comp, but that's
very smart.
Unfair. That's unfair.
You gotta get out. Okay. Let's go.
Yeah, I'll I'm gonna run, and as I'm running, I'm going to search my memory. Would I know? So I remember the silver. Do I also remember any ways of hiding from?
I see what you're saying. No, there's no eidetic. There's nothing you'd know about. Like,
gotcha.
Best way to. Yeah, you've never read a book that's like. Now, if you ever get if you ever have a pesca wolf chasing
would you survive?
Yeah,
you know?
Like take this quiz.
I was just like, wait, they have to be invited in. That's
they
vampires.
don't. The cool thing about werewolves is they super don't. So as the 3 of you take off running, and this thing is eating your boy Lars, as Brigga, Siobhan, and Elodie. Yeah, Siobhan.
Elodie, are you going towards the house at all, or are you just running into the woods?
Or are you running back to town?
How far away from town are we?
Quarter mile.
I would want to run toward the tavern, honestly, to warn people. Like, I do not want to be eaten. At the same time, I would not desire anybody else to be eaten. However, the first person to be eaten, I was not fond of. So,
When
So Elodie's running. Brigga is largely running the same direction. I'm sure there's you're kind of going off it slightly different. Whatever. Siobhan,
If
where are
Brigga's
you
running with us, I'll run. Then I'll go. I'll go with
Okay.
them.
Wait, where's Narcissa?
She ran inside.
She's back in the. She went into the house. That's why.
Yep.
So on that moment,
Sorry, I was looking for my silver.
can Karn and Freya, you guys,
Yeah.
back at the place, could you just both roll me just give me a vitality, both of you.
And how long have you been hunting?
Yeah, let's go.
Ever since my dad died. You know, you remember he was really sick for a long time. He wasn't great at anything, really.
Just vitality?
Just vitality. I don't think either of you have this would just be vitality.
So it's just 3?
Just 3, yeah. 3 for both of you.
Nothing.
Yeah, that's fine.
Nothing.
It's cool. You guys are like a little buzzed. But cool news is you're chilling here. Both of you get 1 power back. Way to go. Great.
Nothing's been the same since our dad died. It's been really hard.
How did your dad die? I don't think you've ever told me.
Cool. Tight.
I mean, he was kind of a piece of shit, and he just kind of sat around, and he hurt his leg a while ago, and just, has been struggling to do anything, and that kind of forced me to have to go out and
So,
fight.
hey, Narcissa, real quick for me. I would love for you to roll me. This is kind of a general sort of thing, and you actually could use your gift of gab on this if you want to. But I want you to make a roll. You're going to have to re-roll one of your physical dice, or maybe more if you buy extras. But I want you to roll a will and charm for me. So that's 6 for you. This is kind of a retroactive thing. This is just about how big a seed have we planted here.
Ooh. Okay, 1 match, and it's a 7.
Match is a 7.
Third quarter. Justice, preparation, understanding.
That's actually a really interesting thing. Okay, I'm just gonna roll. Wait, I'm gonna roll my phase dice for this because I'm literally just rolling it. Oh, sweet! Rolled a full moon. That's cool. That'll be important.
Nice.
So sorry, everyone. That'll be important later. Not sorry for bad. Sorry that I'm not explaining what's going on. Okay, so Narcissa, you're in your house. You're going through shelves and stuff. Out of curiosity, what is Narcissa's feelings for Hank? See, now this game's getting interesting. Like, is this a thing? Is this something that you tossed in your drawer of stuff from like the weirdos who hit on you? Or is this something that like you kind of maybe placed in a slightly more, a place that you're like, I definitely know where it is?
I don't like Hank, but he's kind of getting soft on me, and I like the pendant, so it's somewhere I know it is. It's in a shelf.
You kind of know how to get that pendant. So Narcissa, I'll say that you managed.
But it's still like behind some stuff.
Yeah, for sure. You get in, you begin reaching through, you find it's the shelf that like you try to keep all the stuff. It's you keep some of your makeup and stuff, stuff Freya will never come for. And you have it hidden, and you put your hand around the pendant, and like that silver feels so kind of just good and sort of soft. Silver's very kind of, and as you hold it, you hear the most horrifying scream from outside, and you hear Elodie screaming, "Run!" What would you like to do? You have your weapon.
Yeah. I have it, but do I want to use it? I think I'm gonna look around the house and see if there's a way I can attach the pendant to something.
Radical.
Yeah.
All right, this will be a luck and a I'll use. You have so many cool tools. Let's throw tannery on here. Let's see if there's some tanner tool nearby that you're like, this will work. So this is 5 for you. This is luck and tannery. This is just it's something obvious at hand.
see. 1 match, and it's a 4.
A 4.
Waxing gibbous. Clarity, determination, focus.
I think clarity, determination, focus. I'm just quickly looking at Tanner's tools here, and wouldn't you know it, they do have kind of some of those, like, you know, like hammers with like the kind of like a wedge almost that go to a real tip.
Yeah.
So we'll say in a kind of like Pulp Fiction moment, as you're just like quickly looking over like some weapons as you hear the screaming into the other room and decide to do whatever, you do kind of like, you go back and you pick up a hammer that has you're like, ooh, maybe I could kind of push it onto the tip here, and maybe I could swing that. So that's an option for you. Great.
Fine. So I hear the scream.
You hear the scream.
Kind of like, I assume there's a window. Kind of like peek out, assess what's going on.
I love that you're peeking out the window. That's great. So Elodie, Siobhan, and Brigga are running, but now there's this person here. Gonna roll a smell roll for the old wolf. Three sixes. Okay, so Elodie, Siobhan, and Brigga are running. Just into the night. The wolf has finished, kind of like at this point, Lars is in a few pieces, and the wolf, the Pesk wolf, kind of looks and kind of turns its weird long body. Also, I didn't realize sturgeons have those like long noses, so the wolf does have this like weird, like super. It's almost like a Tex Avery wolf, or like it's like a wolf where like the jaw like snout's like really long, but it kind of like it's sort of turning back. And Narcissa, right at the moment that you look out the window, you see this pair of eyes that are sort of like on the sides of the head, yellow, but they've kind of crunched a little further. You see it like looking up at you, and there's these weird kind of like, some of the fins have almost formed into these weird looking ears, but you see it look at you, and it begins kind of moving in towards the house, kind of through the door that you left open when you ran in. So it's coming for you, Narcissa. The first thing I need you to do, and I would say that you want waxing on this. You want 2, 3, or 4. The first thing I need you to do is to make a coordination, and because you're using a tannery tool, let's have it be tannery. So you get 6 dice on this, and you want them to specifically be waxing crescent first quarter or waxing gibbous. You want something that is about that kind of like action, getting ready. Honestly, a full moon would be fine as well. So you do have a feature here where you can predetermine one of your dice.
Oh.
You can basically kind of set one to guarantee one is a number that you're sort of more hoping for.
Okay. We'll do a 3.
You're going to set 1 to a 3. So,
to a 3. Yeah.
So you're going to spend 2. I'll take the 2 off there. Roll 5. You automatically have 1 2. So what you'd really love is a 2, or barring that, like 2 3s, 2 4s, or 2 5s. So give us a roll.
Oh no, I only have 1 5, 1 2.
You rolled a 2.
Yeah.
Perfect. You already have a 2, so you have 2. No, you have a 3. Shoot.
Yeah, I do have a 3.
You could spend 3 to re-roll these.
Okay. Let's do it. Let's re-roll.
It's just, you just need 7 hours to get these back. You'll be fine. Re-roll. So re-roll those 5.
That's fine.
There you go.
Not good for me.
Wait a second. I'm going to have you redo that for a specific way, because you do have sure hands, and we're all learning this game. Would you like to, before re-rolling your 5 dice, because you don't have to spend thanks to sure hands, and this is a coordination, you could keep your 2 and your 5. So now all you're trying to do on the 3 remaining dice is get a 2, 3, or 5.
Okay.
So let's try that. So now roll 3 dice, and all you need is a 2, 3, or 5. And sorry if I'm saying that too fast. Does everybody understand what I'm pitching there? She has an ability called Sure Hands. I think it's like your Sure Mind, Siobhan, where if it's a coordination-based roll, she can leave certain dice for free. So, because you're just looking for a 2, 3, 4, 5 match, you have 1 3 guaranteed. You've rolled a 2 and a 5. You could keep those, and now you're gonna roll 3 dice and hope any of them.
What's the goal? What's the goal?
She just needs a match on 2, 3, 4, or 5.
Yeah.
Because those are things that are about like quick action going smoothly. If she were to get a match even on waning, she wouldn't have this weapon ready in time.
I see.
So, what do we got?
All right, I got a 3, so that's 1 match.
You rolled a 3. You have what I think correctly you saw as the best possible match here. So,
yeah.
Very quickly as this thing's coming in, and fortunately for you, your hands are very deft, and silver is a very pliable metal. You're able to bend this pendant around the tip of the hammer, so that were you to swing it with all your might, it would. If silver can penetrate this creature, you assume it would actually.
Who's to say?
Yeah, penetrate it. So, Narcissa, you manage to do that, and then you hear silence. Suddenly, the house. I'm turning off the music. The house is utterly still. You're in your room that looked out on the thing. You have the hammer. You've got it on. You're paused. You're gripping it. All you can hear is your own heartbeat. Your own breath.
Can I try to swing?
You're just gonna swing at nothing. You don't see anything. You don't hear anything. Like you're just in
I
your
don't
room
see
and
anything.
Yeah,
I'm just. Oh, okay.
You know that it's coming to your house, but now it's just quiet.
Can I stalk towards the door?
You absolutely can stalk towards the door. Are you trying to be sort of sneaky? What's your
Stealthy? Yeah.
make a coordination roll?
Okay.
3.
Oh gosh, no matches.
No matches. You step on that one floorboard.
Of course.
Just kind of,
Little creak.
and you pause, and you just hear nothing. Or actually, at this point, you're listening so carefully, you can hear the crackling of the torches outside. The wind kind of. Tell you what, you're not give me a vitality. That's just 2 dice. Just give it a shot. So you're like trying to listen to hear what's happening.
No match.
No
So
match.
2.
You can't hear anything.
Great.
What you don't hear is the soft shifting of wood and scaled, furred hands. As you stalk into the doorway, looking around, from atop a table in the middle of the room, coiled and ready to spring, this strange, long Pesk wolf leaping towards you, its huge jaws open wide. You do have your weapon ready to go, so you may swing. I would urge you have some power, though you might want to save some power, to kind of deal with stuff for rerolls and stuff. If you want to spend any power, now might be a good time. I will mention, it's interpersonal skills, so never mind. So if you want to buy any power, or also you might want to keep some for preventing damage. How much damage this thing puts out, I wouldn't worry about that part. So it is leaping towards you. You are going to try to, you're kind of trying to basically duck and strike.
Yeah.
Do you want to purchase anything on this roll? The roll, I'm going to carry on and say it's a tannery weapon, so you will be rolling 6 dice on this.
Let's try the 6 dice. We'll see.
Just roll the 6. I'm into it. All right.
I have three sevens.
You have 3 7s?
Yeah.
Here's the thing.
Justice.
I can get... Here's the fun thing. I can get any number with my transform... Because you can't... Transforming dice, you can't set them to the same thing, basically. Each transformer has to go to a different thing. I can get... I can't get a 3 of anything. And with a 7 being justice and understanding and preparation, I think... Okay, so basically, Narcissa, here's how this goes down. You sort of slide under it, and you swing up with this thing as its jaws are sort of open. It's coming towards you, but you'll catch it like right in the throat. And the hammer tip passes up into the jugular of the creature. And it does fall to the side in great pain. Please roll for me. Do you have other kinds of dice handy?
Yeah, I do.
So let's roll a d6 for the sort of weapon.
Okay. Let's see.
How are we doing, everybody? This is going well.
It's gripping.
Harrowing.
I had to get popcorn because I was so involved. I was like, I need to like eat popcorn while watching this.
I hate this werewolf so much. I really am
That's so
disappointed
terrible.
by this. Is not what I expected.
This Pesca Wolf?
I wanted a sexy wolf bite, and
There-
there
those
was
are-
no.
There'll be time for this.
It's just session 1. That's a 6.
6. That's a lot of damage. Okay, now, because you used a silver item, it
Oh.
wasn't a pure silver thing. Please roll me 2d8. And in this case, forget the phases of the moon. This is damage dice. You went high, friends.
Let's see. One's a 7, one's a 5.
Nice.
Not bad. That is 18. The wolf, the Pesca Wolf, is going to have to use a lot of power to sort of avoid that damage. So you have definitely injured it, and feeling that item in its hand, it's we said you got it in the neck. Its little stumpy limbs, it's trying to like knock it out. It's like its crazy tail is like pounding over its shoulder, breaking the floorboards as it's trying to pull that out of its throat. It seems injured, not dead, but you are not its primary focus right now. It is trying to get the silver out of it. And you do sort of, it's not really burning, but you do smell this odd kind of like metallic, you deal with weird smells. You smell there's some kind of reaction going on. We'll phrase it like that. What would you like to do, Narcissa? If you want to, you could be bold and or reckless and try to finish the job and get up close to this thing.
I was thinking, why not?
Or you can run for it and just feel like maybe it's injured enough it won't come after you. The choice is entirely yours.
Let's try to finish him.
I love this.
Oh, heroic!
All right, so Narcissa, you're going to try to come to this thing as it's going this, and okay. There's also an interesting thing that happens, which is, actually, I shouldn't give you all the secrets away. Point is, it's about to get real hard for this creature. Go ahead. And what are you gonna do? What's your plan?
Well, it's supposed to be silver, so I was gonna try to pull out the knife that I already lodged in
Okay.
him, and then try to whack him.
Just you're gonna try to pull out and go in for again.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yep.
Pulling it out, this is because you kind of got it in pretty good and it's kind of a thing. This is going to be physicality, not coordination. And I'll let you use tannery, but I'm really pushing at letting you use tannery on these. So that's 5 dice for you. All right.
I have 2 3s.
You have 2 2 3s?
Yeah.
Oh my god. I'm so mad. So, I don't get transforming dice when it has taken silver damage, basically. So, I rolled a match as well, but I rolled a 6. And if you guys notice that on a waning gibbous, one of the emotions tied to that, even for a moment from this horrible, evil, twisted monster, is gratitude. Not for you so much, but for the end of the pain. So though it's trying to like kind of like snarl at you and bite at you, as you manage to pull this thing out and kind of like twisting it in such a way that the silver stays on it, it howls in pain, but its snapping jaws coming at you are unable to land in this moment. It's unable to bite into you because it has because because your basically your first quarter of action and decision and accomplishment has defeated its gratitude in this circumstance. So you must now roll one more to try to finish it off. You've done it's had to spend a lot of power, so you can probably do pretty good here if you'll probably be able to finish off this Pesca Wolf if you're able. This would once again be coordination and tannery. That is 6. Do you want to spend anything beforehand?
Nope, I'm already rolling.
All right. What do we got?
3 3s and 2 5s.
3 3s and 2 5s? So full and so basically your 2 5. So okay, you didn't even declare multiple actions here, but I will say, that. Okay, we'll do this in a way that's sort of like baller like. I'm gonna cut here to Elodie, Siobhan, and Brigga running as fast as they can. Are you guys just running as hard as you can, just panting, running, like?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yes.
Saying anything? No, just running. Okay, perfect. So, as you guys have run past, kind of this was probably a little earlier in the movie. This shot of them running. It was probably when she was like hiding. It was just them like running, whatever. Cut to the other two just drinking. Ha ha ha. Narcissa, you're alone. You've pulled the thing out. It is snarling up at you. You do manage to drive. Where are you aiming? With the 3 3s, hit it wherever you want.
Yeah, I'm aiming for the head.
Just through the skull.
Like, yeah, through the skull, right between the eyes.
Go ahead and roll a d6 and 2 d8. And effectively, if you can roll more than 7 on those dice, the creature is no more.
How many
2 d8.
of the 6s?
1d6, 2d8.
Got it. So the 6 is 5, and the 2d8, I have a 7 and a 2.
Yeah, okay, so you crush the head of this thing, and as you do so, it begins, like, its body just begins to, like, and the fur just kind of, it almost falls off of it, but you don't even see it land, and you're left with your hammer and a silver pendant inside the skull of a sturgeon. You've just hit the sturgeon with this, but I will say that as it's like transforming, you kind of hear this like sound behind you, and this axe kind of like cuts through the back half of it, as and kind of you look up as it like turns into a sturgeon, and the tail falls off, and you see that Hank is standing there with an axe, and he just kind of like, he looks at you and says,
"Now, man."
"Oh, I should have figured you could have handled it." And then he just pulls his axe out and just leaves. Actually, hold on. He starts to leave, and then he turns back and goes, are you all right?
Yeah. Did you just see what happened?
Yes. Okay.
No thanks to you.
Sorry, I was, He seems actually, like, saddened when you say that. Like, I'm sorry. I'm very sorry.
Poor Hank.
Elodie, Siobhan, and Brigga. They make it back to the town. You guys run in full steam. The tavern is there. No fish wolves have eaten you as you've been running. What would you all like to do?
Well, I just want to let everybody know that there is something peculiar on the loose, and we all need to be aware and looking out the windows and doors.
I'm heading towards the tavern directly.
Okay.
To collect Freya to go back.
All right. So basically, Freya. At this point, you see Siobhan. Kind of Brigga runs in and it's just like she's just making no sense. Siobhan is walking in. You hear Elodie shouting like outside. So Karn and Freya, you witness this.
Something happened with the fish?
Oh, that doesn't look good at all.
Oh crap! How much time? Narcissa's gonna kill me! Oh god! Fuck!
We're
And I
gonna-
just
She's in real danger.
I'm sure she's fine.
from a fish?
Technically, it's not a werewolf.
Well, if she's in danger, we
A
should probably
pescador.
go.
I just run. I just run to the house.
Freya
I just
starts
don't
running.
even listen anymore.
I
Start gunning it.
will call after her and say, Freya, if she's alive, she's gonna make her way out here.
I don't care.
And I'll follow Freya.
Yeah, and I'll also follow. Let's see. Maybe Hank can help.
Hank.
It's a low blow, man.
All right. So basically, Freya and Karn. Who all's going to the house? Freya, Karn, and Siobhan are returning to the house.
Yeah.
Elodie, you're sticking it around in the town where it's safe, like a non-fool would do.
No, by that point, I would have gotten the message out, right? Like, that's a
Sure.
good amount of time to... Okay, and are there any, like, tinctures or anything that I have that could ward off something like this? Or it's just silver?
Ward off. There are other things that could maybe work, but as far as
But I have them on my person.
we'll say you probably have certain things on your person. You wouldn't have enough to like cover you could go to your shop or your house or wherever you work out of and maybe get more.
Would it be like well, my question is
Yeah.
would like with her knowledge of folk magic, could she like put a word on the door or something to keep it out?
You would
no?
probably need like Wolfsbane,
Ah.
which I'm sure you have. But like, are you talking about you're talking about like every building in town? You probably don't have.
No, I'm talking about the tavern because I imagine like most of the town is there tonight.
Yeah, you could make a luck roll with your folk medicine.
Okay. That. Hold on. So that's 5.
5.
Okay.
That is 5 for you. Yes.
Got nothing.
Got nothing. You have some on you, but like you have like a little sprig. You're not sure. You could put some on the door of this tavern, but it could jump through a
Okay,
window or
then
something.
I'm just gonna tell people like be prepared, get silver. I won't be specific because I don't really know how specific I have to get. And I will
Understood.
run back to
Understood. So, people are kind of running to the cottage. In this moment here, Narcissa, Hank is saying, he's pulled his axe out and saying, I am sorry. I wasn't. It's not like a. I heard some screaming, so I got here as soon as I could. I'm sorry. But are you all right? Did it bite you?
No, you weren't any help.
Okay.
It's done. It's dead.
Do you have a? You have a silver hammer.
I don't.
Oh.
But actually, I did use that pendant you gave me.
Oh. Okay.
So I guess thank you.
No, I didn't do anything. Like you said, I wasn't. I don't. This was a fish. He's trying to like change the conversation. Are you okay? Do you want me to leave? I don't. Where's your sister? I don't want her to get mad. She was really upset because I got a really big elk today. She heard about. I should go unless you not that you want me to stay.
It's fine. You can help me clean up the fish because there's kind of a mess, and I don't know where my sister is.
He sort of he starts leaning over the fish and looking at it and sort of saying, "You did this wound on the neck and the head. These two."
Yeah. Well, it wasn't a fish. Did you see when it was?
Yes.
Oh, a beast.
Yes. And he sort of he finds the spot. You notice actually, Narcissa. Give me a. Narcissa is appropriately not good at looking at other things. She'd have really good for looking at a mirror because of name. But I will say that. Give me a vitality and insight. Let's see if your eyes can kind of understand what's going on. Roll me a 4. Roll me 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. 1 match, and it's 2 4s.
2 4s. I'll say in that case, which is kind of clarity. Oh, determinate, perfect for what's going on. You do sort of notice and kind of put 2 and 2 together, just with kind of the sight of it and the way it's shining. His axes. You see, he always has this one axe on him. It's kind of like it's not like a spy hand or something. It's like kind of like this thing. His axe has silver on it. And you suspect he's prepared. And honestly, some little part of you is like the fact that he gave you a silver thing, like maybe that was for protection or something. But the point is, he seems to have that, but he's immediately looking over the creature and he's kind of identifying. He's like, this was from my axe, this was from your silver tipped hammer. But he sort of points out that wound that Siobhan was talking about and saying, this is where it was bit.
What does that mean?
It means it was bit by. At this point, we will cut to Freya, Karn, Elodie, and Siobhan. I assume Freya way out in the lead.
Oh yeah, I immediately, as soon as I see the cottage in the distance, I whip my musket around and I have it in my arms, and
she's gonna
I
fucking
just
shoot
have it
Hank.
ready.
All
I
right,
have
cool.
it ready. I just question about my musket.
Yeah.
Is it like it's one of those muskets that if I shoot it, I have to like reload it?
Oh,
and it'll
yeah.
Take me a second.
Yeah, that counts.
Great. Heck yeah.
So
okay, good to know.
Freya. So you are running up
away.
to your house, and as you get outside your house, you don't hear any screaming, but you do see a body that has been full, like basically like it's like almost totally separated. Much of the stomach and torso are gone. Much of the neck is gone. Used to be Lars, lying kind of on the ground next to your sister's work table, just like a massive blood pool. The door is wide open. And do you have look or listen? I mean,
No.
Okay, then yeah,
I
that's
don't
what
have look or listen.
that's what you see. You're in the middle. Kind of would think a hunter would have those, but there's only so many skills points we get. So as you're
You
sort
only
of
get so many
running,
skills.
yeah, it's probably kind of baked in with your tracking. The point is, we'll
Yeah.
say you maybe hear some voices inside.
I just, as soon as I leap over the blood pool of Lars and I just scream, Sissa!
You hear her screaming, and Hank is like, "Hush, hush."
And I'm just barging in, gun out like this, and I just
Freya, guns
Okay.
down. Guns down.
here, and my gun is just pointed at Hank.
Hank is just sort
And
of
I look back
standing.
at the thing and I just go, What happened?
It's Hank. You know him. Where were you?
At this point, I want to come running in and
Yeah.
say, "Oh, Hank, it's so good to see you."
Oh, hello.
Oh, I feel, Narcissa.
You see
Will
a
someone tell
cut
me
up
what
sturgeon
happened?
on the ground.
What is this? What happened to the fish?
Well, it wasn't a fish. It was a fish, but it wasn't a fish, but it still is a fish. Yeah, and then it obviously did that out there. So I killed it.
You do this? And I put my gun back at Hank.
No.
No, he came too late. Could have used his help.
Figures. It's Hank.
Karn and Elodie are here now as well.
Oh, no, I full stopped at the man in pieces outside.
You're looking at the man in pieces. Fair enough. Elodie, where are you?
I am running in. Have I reached the cabin
Yeah.
or no?
Yeah.
Okay.
Basically, Karn stopped. You saw the carnage, so Karn's checking
Yeah.
out carnage. Elodie, you see basically Siobhan and Freya are inside.
Yeah, and I'll run inside.
Hank is just looking kind of awkwardly at and saying to Freya, "I can leave if you want."
No, you were explaining to me the bite thing.
Oh yes.
We need to figure out what's going on.
Well, it was bitten by a werewolf, I would imagine, and it passed.
What the heck is that?
Oh, all right.
A werewolf?
Is that some nightmare that
Freya,
you tell
shh.
children?
Have you not heard of it? I'm sorry. Yes, that kind.
It just sounds like a stupid story I was told as a kid.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Hey, did you cut this thing up?
No, Narcissa killed it. I
No,
got here too
no.
late.
It's cut up.
Oh, yes, I did cut it. She'd already killed it, and I sliced it just seeing it, but it was already.
How? With what?
My axe has, with my axe, but Narcissa killed it with.
Let me see that, and I'll
Yeah,
just go up and, like,
it's
look at
covered
his
in
axe.
it's covered in like fish blood, but it is
Ew.
clearly has
Fine.
silver on the it's a silver plated thing. Yes.
Well, it looks like I'm gonna need more wolfsbane, and I'll just shove the axe back at him.
It's somewhat effective. It's not. Sorry.
Okay, well, what is super effective then against
Silver, mainly, but
that's it?
So you're telling me this fish turned into a wolf and it's a werewolf?
A pesca wolf.
It's a
If you would.
pesca. Freya, it's a pesca wolf.
were means man, so it's a man wolf. So this would be a pesca wolf because it's a fish wolf. I'm sorry.
We don't need to get into semantics, but you know.
But Hank, why do you know so much about this?
A great question.
I don't know. I've seen some things. I was taught certain things. This axe belonged to a family member of mine.
Hank, you seemed very prepared for this, specifically.
What's a full moon?
Would we have known that a full moon has anything to do with it, or just...
I think based on you recall, and between Siobhan recalling information, whatever, he's aware.
Okay. You said that was from a family member?
The axe, yes.
Right, and your family makes it a habit of killing weird things?
No, I mean, I've never killed one. Because I might have killed this one, but Narcissa,
Yeah, she's very brave and very strong, and I know you're trying to, and I'll lean in and I'll say, I know you're trying to get into her good graces.
No, I'm not. I'm literally telling you she killed it. I didn't even kill it.
We just need more information on your family, perhaps, and why you have a silver axe.
Karn, outside, you are standing over this corpse.
I would like to, just for the sake of comedy, Philip, can I spend 3 points of power for Eureka to come to the conclusions of exactly what they've been told and walk in to tell them all that?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So as he's kind of just like being shifty about his family.
As I walk in, I'll just be like, so I think we have some sort of Pesca-Wolf attack that happened outside. That's really all that could...
We figured it out, Karn.
Thank you so much, dear.
You know, at the risk of sounding pedantic, the old English word for fish would be fisk, so it may be like a fisk wolf.
You know what? I kind of like that.
I'll see myself out.
No. That was a good one. I like that. Thank you, Karn, for your information. We're learning to go on.
Well, wait, what is Hank doing here?
Nothing.
Hank just got grilled.
He's about to tell us about his family.
Why is that of any relevance?
Okay, why don't you have a seat and I'll just
This is literally my job, though. Why is that of any relevance?
Yes. Why don't you take this and I'll give him like a little satchel of calming herbs and just like push him into a chair. We're listening now.
Well, all right. My parents were not hunters, but my aunt and uncle were. And they said they traveled to some other places on some occasions, far away from Blue Moon. There are places that are very hard to get to. Places beyond Mist. This axe comes from one of those places. It was made when they told the people there where they were going. They said that in Blue Moon there are creatures that are susceptible to silver. And they found one. My aunt and uncle did. It killed my uncle, but my aunt was able to defeat it. At which point it turned back into a man who used to live here in Blue Moon. This was decades ago. They've told me the story about it, but it wasn't a beast like this. He was very cunning. He was very smart. He was very intelligent. He didn't become a wolf. He became a sort of a cross between a wolf man. He walked upright. He could still speak. This man. I don't know if any of you have... Go ahead, Karn.
Do I, just for point of reference, is Hank... Is, his family from here? Would I know these relatives that he's talking about?
You would know his parents. You are unfamiliar with an aunt and uncle, although you do have, You have gossip. You have gossip at 2, actually. You heard rumors that there was some shenanigans with Hank's parents. I mean, you weren't. You just heard the gossip. Some rumors of Hank's parentage being a little tricky, and was he actually his parents? Was he a siblings born out of wedlock? Was he somebody else's? You're not sure about the details of that. But you know that that's like a story of it. As to this aunt and uncle he's talking about, you are unfamiliar with them. Does anybody have Blue Moon history? I'm not sure if I gave that to anybody.
Oh,
I have folklore.
geography.
Folklore.
And folklore.
Oh,
I have genealogy.
you have genealogy. I actually might, between folklore and genealogy, I might give this part to you. Hank's parentage, that's probably not what's springing to mind, but this person who he's talking about, you're trying to think of like people a few decades ago who like died notably. You know there was a man named Siegfried Stein. Siegfried was a resident of Blue Moon who, sort of like many of the rumors said, he also, like his family, the Stein family, was very influential, very important. They all died, and a lot of people think Siegfried probably did it. Karn, you probably know a little bit about this. I'm not sure you would have put 2 and 2 together here in the way with it. But so basically, but if you're sort of, if Hank will mention the person they killed as Siegfried, so I'll say probably at that point, Karn, you're sort of familiar with that. His whole family died in a pretty rough way, and then he kind of disappeared and was never seen again.
And so, is it possible, Hank, that that he was this beast?
Wait, what? The beast who? No, this was a fish.
No, not this beast, Hank. The one that could talk, the one that was a man, that was intelligent.
Siegfried, yes.
That's Siegfried.
He was a werewolf. Or at least that's what I think. This was before I was born, so I don't know.
And so are you just here, lying in wait for this to happen again?
No, I'm just a hunter. But, I mean, you should always be prepared. It's a full moon.
Can you make an insight check?
Sure.
That's what would be my attribute for that?
Oh, Will.
Will?
Yeah. Spirit will kind of thing. And I know this is long, guys, but there's only 4 of these, so we're, trying to get to important stuff points.
I believe that is just 1 match with 2.
1 match with 2?
Yeah, waxing
crescent. That's kind of a thing. He does not appear to be lying at all. He just seems incredibly uncomfortable. And he doesn't seem to be happy about, you're not sure. I mean, he may just be unhappy that, like, things even got to the point. He may be unhappy that anyone died. He's probably just upset that, he kind of wasn't aware of all this stuff, but he seems kind of...
Look, Hank, I'm not accusing you of anything. You just seem to have information. I'm just trying to get a handle of what's going on. Should I expect more of this? Because we're not at all prepared to deal with that.
Something bit this. So there's something out there.
So.
And we've only got till the end of the full moon to catch it. According to folklore, at least.
No, we would have, I mean, it'll be active now. But we could catch it at any time. But
Right, but we can only see it in its wolf form now, right? It could be anything. It could be a fish.
No. It depends. If it's one of those wolf men, it could be in its form whenever it wants.
Well,
If it's a beastly thing like this, it's only the light of the moon, and the wolf thing must take this form under the full moon. At least that's what I think. I'm not really an expert. He says with his silver axe.
Right.
oh. Freya, you're the best hunter I know. Would it be... Should we wait for something, or should we go out to track it?
If it's most active now, I would go track it now. But I also think that I don't have all the knowledge on this type of creature. So Hank, what's the best way to hunt one of these? What are the signs? What are we looking for? Clearly we need silver.
Do you have more silver, Hank?
He kind of goes over and, pulls out your hammer and says, I should at least, never mind. I just sets the pendant back down. Like,
what's that? Where did that come from? Was that yours?
Yeah, it was mine. Hank gave it to me. And it saved my life tonight.
When did you give this to her?
Don't worry about it.
I am gonna worry about it.
As Hank sort of shrinks against this questioning, if he didn't want to talk about his family, he super doesn't want to talk about this. It is at this point that we will cut away from you all. The light of the full moon is shining down on a lake, shining down through the waters. From under the water, reflected. Some of the fish swim up. Some of the fish are sort of caught wherever they go below, swimming lower. One little fish swims down into the darkness. A hairy arm reaches through the water, wrapping around it. The fish tries to swim away, the arm straining against chains, before winning the contest easily and pulling the fish back down.
So good.
Into the depths. That is where we will end chapter
So
1.
good.
Water werewolf.
Oh, so good.
Why is there a chain? Why is it chained?
Why? How is it surviving under? Well, I guess if a werefish doesn't need water, werewolves don't need air.
If nothing with the silver thing kills it, it's just down there for however long. Getting real mad.
Ooh.
So, that was tonight's fairly violent first session. I'm gonna say I'm very excited to see that Narcissa is alive. That was a bit of surprise based on where things were going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could have
Based on
died.
where things were going.
Where?
So, well, thank you all for playing. I hope that you. I kind of like this system. This kind of has a different vibe to it, right?
Yeah. I
Looking
like it
for
too.
matches rather than I'm sure we'll find some weird elements to it. The reviews on One Roll Engine are that people really like certain things about it and that they feel it kind of. I think a problem with it is there's so many circumstances where you just have so few dice, kind of like if there are ways to maybe get a couple more dice here and there. That's why I gave you power, but we may have to. I don't know. I honestly may reduce the cost of extra dice from extra dice for rolls from 2 to 1, just to kind of make that an easier bid for you. I don't know. But thank you all so much for playing. I thought this was super fun. I have to say, I really love all of these
That was
characters. Just from the outset, I really love that Freya and Karn just weren't there. That was our our two martial characters
Right.
just were not present. And
That always makes it really fun when the martial characters are not there. That
Yeah.
always just adds fun time.
so
You
that
know
was
what? Narcissa
that was
thrived.
interesting
She
stuff.
made
But you
do.
heard about various things. Thank you all for watching. We hope you enjoyed this. Please follow our channel. Subscribe if you are able to do so. But if you're not able to do so, please do not subscribe because you are violating the laws of physics if you're doing something that is impossible. Go to our Discord. We post all sorts of stuff there, including recaps of every game. What? That's also a good tip for the players. We have recaps of all our games, so you can read them there if you're ever like, what the hell was that person? Oh, you guys are going to love the spelling of Stein, by the way. Get ready for that.
Ooh.
Any guesses?
like RL?
STEIGHEN.
No.
SHTY.
Cut it off.
No, as in RL, STINE.
It is not that. No, it is. I'm mildly inspired by. It is STIJN.
Oh, you
Ah,
pretentious
yeah.
bastard.
Wow.
Hey, we're just.
I'm
it's
kidding.
Nordic.
Fisk Wolf.
That's very Nordic.
So this was super fun. Yeah, go to our that. But you know what? If you liked this game, then you might like some of our other games, such as the finale of Civilized Age tomorrow night, our Star Wars game that takes place hundreds of years after the time of Luke Skywalker,
I'm gonna cry.
featuring someone who
You can't
will
cry because
kill
I'll
Luke
cry.
Skywalker, or her brain will explode. Yeah, we have that's been a super fun game. We got we you know what? They might actually get their kids in the finale. We'll see. They might find their
I
kids.
better get my kids
Well,
back.
kids.
God damn it.
Well,
I
they're
cried
kids. They're
last
yeah.
session, so I'm gonna cry this session.
They-
There's no way.
There will be tears mostly for the children
Tomorrow.
who are now Sith sworn. Let's see what else is cool. On Tuesday, Gray in the Dark. I'm also going to go ahead and sort of mention the goal for this. It will be happening this week, but our goal, friends and neighbors, is that on Tuesday, kind of because of Gray in the Dark and also it's how long it will take, I believe we are releasing a book called Noir Confidential through Kickstarter.
Oh,
backers.
wow.
Yay!
It is happening this month. We're gonna try to get it done on Tuesday so we could those players can have the book for it. But if not, then it will be at the end of the month because it'll be November 30th. It looks so good. We did the back cover today. That is all fake quotes for it. That Jeremy suggested
wonderful.
I do that. Just doing all our layout, and he's like, do some fake reviews. And then I had way too much fun finding fake reviews that tell a story amongst themselves. It's some fun stuff.
Will it be available for purchase?
Cool
for
question.
people who are just joining us.
What a
who
cool
did
question.
not have the opportunity
It will
to
be
Kickstarter?
at some
Okay.
point. That is not a point I am at. But I will also mention if anybody does want to purchase it, I may do some sort of we've had some messages on Kickstarter as well. I'm not sure how involved the process it is to get it onto DM's Guild initially. So, if people really want it, you can message me on Discord and I'll let you know the process as soon as we have one. So there's
It's
that.
Long Lost Lore on the Discord, obviously.
Message Long Lost Lore on our Discord. Great. Good catch. And then on Friday, it is not Blood from a Stone, even though we had last week off. Friday is Star Trek. Oh, damn. I gotta write more ads.
Yes!
Oh, I gotta.
love the ads. They're
Our
so
Star
fun.
Trek game that is fun has now just become about ads. It is now only about
Country.
stupid
Oh my
90s
God.
ads
What's
that are
up?
read in the middle of it. So we got to do more of those.
Amazing.
So yeah,
Incredible.
Star Trek will be this
It's so
Friday.
good.
The continuing adventures of the USS Noteworthy, going to be super fun. And then join us 1 week from tonight for more fun with this, and then a week from Monday for the Top Flight Holiday Special. So yeah, going to be super fun. Join us for all of that. Would anybody here like to plug anything? Talk about anything?
Yes. On Wednesday this week, not Tuesday, I will be streaming a new detective adventure narrative game done in the style of medieval illustration called
rad.
Pentiment.
Ooh.
Oh, I've
and
heard real good things. about
Yeah,
that.
I'm very, very excited to talk about that and talk about game design.
Very
So that's Wednesday at 5 p.m. Pacific here on Twitch at Andrew is Trying.
Nice.
Awesome.
Very good. Well, everybody, thank you so much for watching. I'm really excited about this mini series. I feel like we actually did accomplish stuff tonight, and I think every chapter of this will have certainly some gore and some wolves and some nonsense. So we're gonna get attached to these characters, and then their limbs will get detached, and it'll just be a lot of attachment.
No.
So thank you all. What about Hank? Right? That's funny.
That
was not my plan for Hank to be a
great.
Narcissa. Now that's the core of this game, apparently. So thank you all so much. Thanks for watching. Until next time,
What's it gonna be?
have a dreadful night.
Oh.